Hello everyone and welcome to the World Blitz Scrabble Championship. Today is Sunday, February 14th, 2021. It is 12 a.m. midnight Greenwich Mean Time, but it is still 4 p.m. back on the west coast of the United States where I'm coming at you. My name is Evans Clinchy. So happy to have you with us for this broadcast. This is week 3 of BlitzChamps and things are getting interesting in this tournament. This is a big week in the pairings for each of the pool play groups. We've got the number 2 seeds playing the number 5s and the number 3 seeds playing the 4s in each group, which means a lot of very important matches with a lot of big implications for playoff seeding for these players. 2 of those matches are coming up right now. We've got first, it'll be Jakob Teitelbaum and Peter Armstrong, the 3 and 4 seeds in Group D. And then after that, we're going to have Doug Brockmeier and Ricky Purnomo, the 3 and 4 seeds in Group E. So 2 very important matches with a lot of playoff implications on the line. I'm pretty excited for these matches. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to have Pete and Jakob coming up first. And let me just take a quick look at the tournament room right now and see if they are... Looks like both players are in the room and Pete is not quite ready. So we're going to stall for a little bit. Hope you guys are all doing well on this Saturday afternoon / Sunday morning, wherever you might be in the world. I'm having a nice Saturday afternoon myself, enjoying some snow out my window here in the Pacific Northwest. And got my shoveling done early so I can enjoy some Scrabble this afternoon in my nice warm living room out of the snow. So hope you guys are all enjoying your Saturday / Sunday as well. Let's take a quick look at the schedule for this weekend's games. We've got a whole lot of action coming up. I think we've already played like around 25 out of the 40 matches this weekend, but a lot more still to come. As I was saying, we've got Jakob and Pete coming up first. That's happening right now. And then after that, it's going to be Doug versus Ricky. 2 very important matches for the implications for the playoffs in those 2 groups. And then right after that, we're going to have another important match with the 2 versus the 5 in Group A, Group Aardvark. That's going to be Wabin Toe versus Sean Abbasi, and that's going to be on Wabin's channel. We're going to be giving him a little raid right after this. But first, we're going to have 2 hours of action right here on twitch.tv/Coco Scrabble. It's going to be Jakob and Pete, followed by Doug and Ricky, and then as you can see, a whole lot more matches all weekend long. It's going to be fun. Anyway, just going to check again on Jakob and Pete, see how those guys are doing. It looks like we are still waiting on Jakob and Pete. Let's take a look at the overall standings for this group. So this is Group D, Group Dingo, and here's how the group looks right now. Conrad Bessabouchard is in first place. Conrad went 9-0 earlier today in his match, so he is now 3-0 in matches and 27-0 overall in games. Yes, LOL indeed. Yeah, so Conrad is dominating right now, but Jakob is also undefeated. He is 2-0 and 18-0. Jakob won all 9 against Martin DeMello last week, which is really hard to do. Martin's a strong player. So Jakob is dominating as well. And then you've got myself, Evans. I'm in third place at 2-1, 18-9. So for myself personally, not going to lie, I have a vested interest in Jakob losing because if he wins, he's going to be very, very hard to catch in the standings. But I'm going to stay impartial. I'm going to just broadcast the games as they happen. And whatever goes down, goes down. We shall see. This is Jakob versus Pete. You see, Pete is also in a potentially playoff qualifying position himself. He's 1-1 with a 12-6 game record. If he wins this match, then he's 2-1. Jacob's also 2-1. I'm 2-1. Cedric Lewis is 2-1. Anybody could come out of that group. So if Pete wins, he's going to have a pretty decent shot at the playoffs, but he needs to win. It's going to be a very, very important one here against Jakob head-to-head. Colin, hi. I was just to say hi. Yeah, I think there was a banger earlier between Benji and Lukeman. It was a great match. It ended up with a 5-4 win for Benji, and we will have a quick look at the standings in his group later because we're going to have Ricky and Doug in the same group as those guys playing after this. But first, it'll be Pete versus Jakob, and it looks like they are still not quite ready. You know, I've been playing tournaments with Pete Armstrong for about 7 years now, and I think he's always about 5 minutes late, so I'm not at all surprised by this development. Love Pete, great guy, but, you know, always 5 minutes late. You just got to be ready for that. Anyway, we are waiting on those 2 to get started, but in the meantime, hope you guys in chat are all doing well. Hope you're having a good weekend. Feel free to share your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, emotions, deep-seated fears about the world, whatever you want to chat about, hit me up. But glad to see you all in chat having fun. Hope you guys have been enjoying this weekend of BlitzChamps matches, that is plural. Hope you guys are getting to play in the snow for those of you who are getting some of that, which I think is quite a few people these days, at least in this hemisphere. So waiting on Pete and Jakob. We will bring you that game as soon as we can, but we are just Still in waiting mode right now. So again, looking at the schedule for this weekend, we got a whole lot more matches coming up this weekend. A bunch of the biggest names in the field are still to play in here in week 3. You see Chris May, you see Andrew Fisher, you see Austin Shin. There's just a lot of Scrabble to watch, and a lot of it's going to be streaming on Twitch as well, so that's pretty cool. I want to say thanks to everybody who has contributed to the Twitch streaming. There have been just so many players who have been willing to stream their own matches, which has been made for a lot of entertaining content. And on top of that, we've had some other players who are not in the field, such as Mac Meller, who have volunteered to stream some matches as well. So there's just been a lot of content on Twitch just all weekend, every weekend, and it's been a lot of fun. Who is worse for sticking to schedules and starting times, Pete, Jesse, or anyone? That's a great question, Colin. I mean, Pete's not that bad. Like I said, he's 5 minutes late, but like 5 minutes is not the end of the world. Like 5 minutes is pretty much his max, how late he'll get. Jesse Day is, he'll be late sometimes, and he'll just like get lost for like, 25 minutes, and you'll just have no clue when he's going to show up, and that will happen. So it's a good question. Benji says Moses is Zoom. That's a good answer too, Benji. Yeah, sorry about the forfeiting issues that we've had with your group, but at least the other 9 players are showing up pretty reliably. Actually, that's not true either, is it? Forget it. Forget I said anything. All right, let's take another look at Jacob and Pete. I see Jacob in the chat saying, Pete, are you ready yet? And he is not getting an answer. So we are still going to keep on waiting. But I'll just keep on killing time because it's just what I got to do in this situation. Another look at the standings for this group, though. Just a dominating performance by Conrad so far, 27-0, and dominating by Jacob as well at 18-0. And props to Cedric, who has now won back-to-back matches in his group, 5-4. He beat Peter 5-4 last week. He beat me 5-4 on Thursday night. So he's had 2 upset wins over higher seeds, and he's all of a sudden kind of in contention. You look at him at 2-1. If Jacob loses, then he's kind of in a 4-way tie for second place, and he's got a shot at the playoffs. So, Cedric is in the mix. Pete is obviously in the mix. If he wins this game, or this match, I should say, he's going to be in that 2-1 group as well. And as for Conrad, he's undefeated, but he hasn't played the higher seeds yet. So I think he's played all of the bottom 3 seeds, and then after that, he's going to have Mark, Martin, Cedric, Peter, myself, Jacob. It's going to be a pretty competitive final 6 or 7 weeks for Conrad. So a lot of things can still shake out in a lot of ways for this group. But right now, it is Conrad in command, and Jacob also undefeated so far, but taking on Pete today. I want to agree with Benji in the chat. Thank you so much to Becky for organizing so much for this tournament. She has been just incredible with coordinating scheduling and all sorts of stuff like that. So it has been super duper helpful to have her. Benji says you haven't been using the internet correctly. That's the internet can be used and misused in a whole lot of ways. I'm not even going to get into it. All right, we're going to have Jacob and Peter getting started right now. It looks like let's go to the game, and we are just getting started with this game 1 between Jacob and Peter. So Jacob is on the top of your screen, Caboge, and on the bottom of your screen is Peter Armstrong, Choco PB. And it's an early lead for Jacob, 89-44, as he opened with the heavy Z play of Zinky for a lot of points. So we are underway here in game 1 between Jacob and Peter. Very important match with a lot of playoff implications. Jacob looking to stay undefeated, and Peter looking to improve to 2-1 and kind of stay in that playoff contending mix. So pivotal match for them both. And it's not a great rack for Pete early here in game 1. He's got all 7 consonants. Let's see what he can do with that. All right, he's going to play third. He plays Drant, keeping a leave of what, HRM? See how that works out for him. Okay, he draws a pretty balanced rack of some vowels to go with it the turn after that. Okay. Pete's down by 76 points early, but he's going to keep on scoring. Air is 39, and that's the first blank to Jacob. I want to say lispund is a word, but I could be wrong about that. Definitely lispound. Yeah, the picture of Pete is not exactly new. These are the pictures that Wespa has on file. I can't guarantee that they're up to date. In Pete's case, he's got a lot more facial hair in real life than he does now in that picture, so there's that. All right, looks like lispund was missed, but Jacob does get 26 points for pulls, and he is still in the lead. All right, so Impy is the kind of short play from Pete to kind of unload some vowels, and still waiting on Jacob to find a bingo with these tiles with the blank. I believe Bendays is an option here. Bendays at A6 looks like the star option here. See if you can find that or something else like it. All right, he plays Bandy instead. It's 37, keeping E blank, which is almost as good as bingoing. And now confits, a very tasty word for Pete that unfortunately looks to not play on this board, I believe. But he does have a nice balance of consonants and vowels. Can't complain too much about that. And you might want to play a short play. I see like of next to impy for 20 is an option. Oh yeah, Ali points out that uplands was also an option in addition to Lisbon. Yes, con doesn't fit. So that is a great pun from Colin. All right, so of is indeed the choice. A different spot than I would have chosen, but I guess of in that spot opens a spot for oft, which is immediately what Jakob plays. So that backfires for Pete. All right, insects, incests, all sorts of valid bingos in this rack for Pete, and he chooses incests for 71. He is still down by a bingo. Jakob is in control right now. And let's see what he can do with this rack. I don't believe there's a bingo that he can play, but there's definitely ways to just score and balance pretty nicely, and Jakob is in the lead, so nothing to worry about. Yeah, Veed, nice play, 35 points. And Pete plays through a kind of ugly one-pointer rack for 26 points. Aurora, nice play. All right, Pete's still drawing pretty rough. The Q and a whole bunch of ugly consonants with it. Down by 125, and he's drawn a bad rack. That is not good news for Peter here. He might be just forced to exchange. Not sure what else he can do. He's going to play Rum. He's going to play through it, and ooh, almost earwaxes. If Zinky E were a word for Jakob, he'd have earwaxes through the R. Barring that, he's going to play just X for 44, nice score, and finally Pete exchanges the Q. So with the Q back in the bag, that's going to be a whammy for whoever draws it. Let's see, multiple W's now, 2 of them to be precise, for Jakob. And he plays Cause, keeping one of the W's on his rack, and looks like Hostler does not fit for Pete, but he plays He for 30, opening a bingo lane in line O. Probably you can just block that with like We or something, or Wheel. Pretty easy to block, and yeah, We is the choice for Jakob. So Jakob's going to be ahead by multiple bingos, and no chance for Pete to catch up here, so it's going to be a win for Jakob here in game 1. All you got to do now if you're Jakob is don't flag, and that appears to be not a concern. Both players get 3 minutes on their clock, plus a 4th minute of overtime with a 10-point penalty, and it looks like Jakob is going to finish in just the first 3 minutes with no 4th minute needed. Depending on the endgame, that is. Still got 1 tile in the bag, and Pete is looking for something. He's going to fish for a bingo, but I don't think it's going to help. I think that did block Estelis into the S, because ALI is no good. So he did block the bingo, but doesn't matter. Jakob's going to get the win either way. And we're just waiting on Pete to play his final turn before Jakob inevitably goes out with his tiles of E and T. Definitely a couple places for those. So just want to maximize your score here if you are Pete. Hard to find a good spot for the Q on this board, though. There isn't much to do with it, huh? Unless I'm missing something, there is just not much at all. Pete's going to take his time and look. He's still got about 45 seconds until he flags. What is the Q play here? Not seeing anything. This is awful. Yeah, this is just rough. Well, now Pete's got 25 seconds till he flags. You could try to set something up. No, I don't even know how you would do that. This is just brutal. Pete's got 10 seconds to go, and he may just, yeah, give up and play on 2, and now Jakob goes out. So a rough game for Pete. He finishes at 268, and it's going to be a big win for Jakob here in game 1. Let's go ahead and update that score. It is now Jakob Teitelbaum 1 and Peter Armstrong 0. 8 more games to go. We're going to play 9 in total between these two players, and a lot of time remains for Peter to come back in this match. 1-0. Good start for Jacob, and game 2 is coming up shortly, I would imagine, between these two players. All right, and let's go. Game 2. Pete's turn to go first, and Pete's got some one-pointers. Maybe just play Lou, keep EILR, and move on with your life. Hello in the chat to Wanderer. Hope you're having a good Saturday, Will. All right, Olio is the choice from Pete. Looks pretty reasonable, keeping ELR. And Jacob's going to play Frig, balancing the rack, getting rid of some consonants. Pete ditches that WU pretty quickly. And more one-pointers for Jacob, but Werua, nice play to unload a lot of those. All right, so both players kind of battling some awkward racks early, and right now it's pretty low scoring. 34-18, Jacob leads. Let's see. Usually look for a word like WHAUP, W-H-A-U-P with this rack, but I don't see a good spot for that. There's probably something in line 4 above Werua that can score nicely. I'm sure that's where he's looking. Yeah, Hup. And I see bingos for Jacob, like depaint will be an option through the P. There are, of course, 7s like enticed, but I don't believe there's a great spot to play a 7 on this board. I think depaint is probably the best play here. You choose painted instead. That's a little bit weaker. It's only 67. All right, so a small break caught there by Pete, and he's going to play Braun in the spot where depaint would have blocked it. So 39 points for Braun, and ooh, Zinky is a heavy Z play from Jacob. All right, so a 60-pointer there, and Jacob now up by 78 with a pretty weak rack for Pete. We'll probably try to look for, I think maybe evade might be a good choice here in the bottom right corner. It's a pretty good score with the V. Let's see, anything else to consider here if you're Pete? I don't think so. He plays Valle. That's I don't like that one so much. Only 19 points. And he's going to hope to draw a bingo, I guess. All right, so Loose, another high-scoring play from Jacob. 39 points with those mostly one-point tiles is pretty strong. Looks like Pete did draw pretty well to his play of Valle. He drew a blank and some other good stuff. I don't know if there's a bingo this turn. I don't think there's anything through that V or that I, but I could be wrong. I see, yeah, I see nothing. I am cheating and asking for the computer, and the computer sees nothing either, so there's probably nothing. Oh, Fatwad, I didn't look up high. Good call. Okay. All right, so after Fad, it's going to be another chance for Pete to bingo now. He's down by 95. And let's see here. Probably want to play X-Eat in the bottom right corner there, keeping your blank. Seems very, very strong. I think even if you do have a bingo, it's better to just play X-Eat anyway. External is 92. Maybe external is better. Okay, so external is the choice. And Zati is a nice score with those one-pointers for Jacob. Continuing to score well, even with these racks full one-pointers, finding high-scoring plays. All right, so a little bit of a closer game now after external as Pete is closing the gap, and it's a 10-point lead now for Jacob on turn. 256 to 246. Good score with Tivy, and Pete would love to bingo one more time. He is still down a little bit. Yeah, I think it was close between external and X-Eat. E blank is a very good leave. It might be worth the 29-point sacrifice, but yeah, both are strong options. Can't complain either way. All right, after Tivy and Omega, it is still a very close game. Jacob up by 3. Ditches the Q for a small score. And what does Pete have here? Anything? I think he might not have a bingo. Nothing with the I or the E, I don't believe. Yeah, you can't overthink here, that's for sure. I would agree with that, Colin. I mean, it's one of the situations where in a speed game like this, if you see anything that looks reasonable-ish, you probably want to just play it. All right, so Nap followed by Buteos as continuing to score really well is Jacob. Has he bingoed in this game? He bingoed once with Painted, that's right. So only one bingo for each player. And 333 to 294, a close game. All right, Pete's going to fish. He's going for a bingo out, it looks like. Can he get it? Very, very good tile pool. He probably can get it, actually. There's a good hook for Nape in line 14 underneath Nap. And Also, bingoing from the B is possible if you draw the blank. The blank is still unseen, so Pete may have just drawn it. 50-50 chance that he did. He drew 2 tiles out of 4 in the bag. Jacob's got 1 minute and 10 seconds. Ahead by 27 points, but you know, if he gives up a bingo, that's game over, I think. I don't think he's going to do anything that can outrun a bingo. So for Pete, it's just, did he draw a bingo or not? He played Eric, keeping EENRT, a very, very good leave. It's hard to imagine that he can't bingo. I mean, that nape spot is almost guaranteed to give Pete something, I feel like. Oh, yeah, Andrew points out in the chat that be shout was the word on Jacob's rack. Be shout making Stivey. I believe that, yeah, Stivey is the one place to play that, I think. All right, a long think, relatively speaking, for Jacob here. About 40 seconds he's been thinking. More than that, sorry, about 1 minute and 10 seconds. He finally plays Dosh, blocking the spot, but does Peter have anything from the B? I'll bet you he does. Benitier. Benitier, I believe, is the winning play here, and he finds it. Wow. So Pete bingos out and wins by 40. Your final score is Pete 400 and Jacob 360, and we are now tied 1 game apiece. Nice game by Peter Armstrong, just waiting for the bingo out opportunity at the end, and he gets it. He's got bingos in 2 spots. Jacob cannot block them both, and Pete gets the win. So we are now tied 1 game apiece, and game 3 coming up. Congratulations to Pete on giving the first loss of the whole tournament to Jacob. He was 19-0, and he finally loses his 20th game of the event. So a nice win by Pete against the unbeatable, as Benji says, Bojack Teitelbaum. All right, so after Bojack takes a loss, we'll see if he can come back and win game 3. All right, an exchange to open from Jakob Teitelbaum, and now it's Allures, Laurels. Pete's got his choice of opening bingos here. I am not using dark mode. I refuse to use dark mode. Light colors are beautiful. You guys can just deal with it. I don't care. All right, Allures is the choice from Pete, opening with a bingo, and I don't believe this is a good rack for Jacob here. I don't think there's any kind of bingo. You can play Epiboli through the L. I think that's good. Nope, I'm lying. Not a word. I don't know what I was thinking of. I guess just Epiboli with a Y. So boy is the choice, just balancing the rack with EIPT. And nice score with the K for Pete. So a nice solid lead for Peter Armstrong early, 101 to 17. He's in a solid position so far, but Jacob's got an interesting rack with a couple of nice scoring consonants. Could play something like, if you want to go long, you could play helipad. If you want to make a shorter play, there's something like hip or hipped, making hoy, H-O-I. Couple of options here. So let's see. Hip is the choice, all right. And unsawed comes down right away. So Pete's in very good shape now, up by a couple of bingos. 173 to 45. And after felt comes down, it's a little bit closer, but an interesting rack for Pete. Probably not going to bingo this turn, but you can make a short play and angle for a bingo next turn with a pretty solid lead, I'm guessing. Let's see what he decides on. He plays PEE for 14, keeping AELNS, and Jacob is drawn pretty awkwardly. The J, you can play something like Jut, which is just, you know, kind of a short play to get rid of the J. You're still going to be laden with too many consonants after that, though. Not a great situation for Jacob. He does play Jut, and oh man, Pete draws the blank. Wall's End, nice play, and he plays it right away. 90-point double-double bingo for Pete, and that's going to be a commanding position now for Pete, up by 178 halfway through the game. Jacob challenges, but Wall's End does come back good, and now it's back to Jacob, who's drawn the other blank. I don't believe he's going to have a very high scoring bingo. I actually don't know if he has any bingo at all from what I've seen so far. Chat, what am I missing? ADIMTT blank. Admitted. Thank you. Thank you, WTF. Admitted is a nice play. Jakob is taking his time. He's got 40 seconds left on his clock, plus the 1 minute of overtime. Meditate also an option. There you go, Andrew. Okay. So Jakob is looking for one of those, I would guess. Letting his clock run really low now. 20 seconds left to Pete's 2:08 on his clock. So clear advantage to Pete in this game on both the scoreboard and the clock. All right, Milt is the play from Jakob. So a couple of bingos missed there. And now it's back to Pete, who's drawing all consonants, but I think he can just keep scoring okay. You'd love to have a spot for Murr here, but I don't believe you have one. All right, Guy is 29. Can't argue with 29. That's pretty nice. Milty and Day. So both players kind of playing through their excess consonants and scoring pretty well with them. Pete challenges, but Milty is good. Milty your limiter. Miltiest mistitle. Yeah, those are words. All right, still all consonants for Pete, who finally gives up and exchanges them. Heavy stuff for Jakob, the V and the X. He's going to play the X for just 18 points. Not a great board in terms of hotspots for big consonants like the X. And Pete bingos. Oh boy, a lead of over 200 now for Pete. And just a commanding position. So Pete is going to win game 2 almost certainly. Jakob opens a triple, but I don't imagine that'll stay open. Something like void, yeah, void comes down right away. And that'll shut down the triple. And I don't think we're going to see any 180-point bingos from Jakob anytime soon. He plays Mart, and we still got 24 tiles to go. So for Pete, after a rough start in game 1, he has battled back, and he's going to have back-to-back wins here in games 2 and 3. Glad we have a worldwide viewing contingent. We got Colin watching from England. What time is it there? Like midnight, right? Staying up late on a Saturday night to watch some Scrabble. I respect it. I feel like most of the audience here is going to be players in the US and Canada because it is Saturday afternoon / evening for us. It's about 4:30 my local time here as we are about halfway through this first match. Big respect to the players tuning in the middle of the night to watch these matches. I know I couldn't do it. All right, so Pete's going to top 500 here. Jakob again opens a triple, and Jacob's going to get bingoed on, yeah, creation. So Pete with a chance now to break 600 in this game if he can just play Noah for a pretty decent score. And I don't think he's going to have quite enough points for 600, though. Oh, no, he is, because he's going to get points off of Jacob's rack. Yeah, and Noah is 8 plus another, 14, and it's going to be a 6-11 to 363 final. A massive win for Pete in game 3, and he improves to an overall 2-1 in the match. Why isn't that 2 showing up? 1 second. I wrote a 2. There we go. All right, 2-1 in the match is Pete. So, after a rough game 1, Pete has battled back, and he now leads the series 2-1. Oh, that's right. So now that Wiggles has this invalid words played feature, you can look at all the phonies after the game. And so the chat tells me, invalid words played, Chaz, C-H-A-Z. I guess Jakob played Chaz, and Pete didn't care to challenge because he got a bingo through it. All right, anyway, game 4 getting underway, and it is Pete to go first. He plays Vly, keeping ADRS. So Bowie comes down, and is there a bingo in this? I don't believe there is. Looking through that V and that O and that Y, not seeing anything. Might just want to play like Odell, keeping RST. Odell scores pretty nicely. Yeah, he does play that exactly. Okay. So looks like nothing that interesting for Jakob either. What to do with this rack, what to do. You don't really have any super good scoring spots here. You don't have any tile that overlaps yo, like yog and yacht are not words. Almost diegetic, but you're 1 tile off from that, from the D. All right, so Jeet is the choice from Jakob, a pretty short, fishy kind of play. Keeping CEIT, hoping to draw a bingo. We'll see if that works out for him. Sturras, I believe, is a word. Yeah, Sturras and Ristras are the plays here, and Geet takes an S, so you can play it in line J just fine. Pete, so Pete just plays Raz, keeping IRST. A little bit of a mistake there. All right, so Civet is going to make it a lot harder to bingo, as that C and V are not overlappable except for CH. All right, so Rue from Pete is going to open bingos in line M. He's going to try to hit that spot. He's got insert as his bingo stem. Don't draw an R. We've seen insert R by a couple of players in this tournament drawn, and it's a frustrating rack. It looks like a bingo and just isn't one. Oh my God, I called it. He draws the R. Oh, man. Oh, is the Echo Evans back? That's not good. Let me, I'm not sure what I can do about that. I can mess with the filters a little bit and see if that helps, but I don't know why the echo just randomly happens from time to time. That's very strange. I can mess with the filters a little bit and hope that helps. All right, in any event, finally, after exchanging the R, Pete is going to... Oh, Normal Evans is back now. That's great. Okay. Sorry about the echo there. So Pete fishes the R. He just exchanges 1, and then he draws the O for Investor. And that gives Pete the lead by 22 points, with Jacob now on turn. I hope the echo wasn't bothering you guys for too long. Was it there for like 30 seconds or for like 30 minutes? All right, flip for 19 from Pete. Or sorry, from Jacob, followed by a short play from Pete. And now both players kind of exchanging short plays. Both of them looking to improve their racks here and go for a bingo at some point. But neither one of them having any luck quite yet. All right, so Pete's now down by 17. Pretty close game. He's got an interesting rack. No bingos, I don't believe, but oh yeah, Newspeak. That's a nice find by Benji. I don't believe Newspeak plays on this board. You don't want to make Abyk, A-B-Y-K. But cool word indeed. Walk. Okay, so that's a pretty fishy play, keeping A-E-N-S-P, hoping to draw a bingo, and Errorist comes down. Sneaped and Speened are words, but there's no spot for a 7 on this board, I don't believe. Oh, do you have anything at all now if you're Pete? I'm not sure you do. There are no bingos through an E or an R or an O with this rack. This might just be a very cruel twist of bad luck for Pete that he draws a great rack and can't use it. It doesn't seem like that bad of a board. I mean, he's got the S for the investor's hook, but there's no word ending in S. There's only Sneaked and Speened. You do have the hook on walk. You can play walks and like peds for a very good score. But Pete generally likes to go for bingos in situations like this. And there's also just that wide open E for the triple-triple. All right, he's going to play P's. The leave is interesting, D-E-N. But there is a wide open triple-triple through an E, and that is very scary. You can just play a long word here like Builder. Yeah, Builder does come down. Oh, 3-note. All right, so Peter does draw the bingo. But again, there's a wide open E through a triple-triple. And I don't think it's going to hurt him too much because Jacob's rack is not that great. You don't want to leave that spot alone. Like, I feel like equity-wise, your best play is just to play like Guano or something in line 2, but you can't leave that open E alone. Maybe you can. All right, Aguna comes down. Pete has drawn the blank. Sorry, the first of the 2 blanks, I should say. There are 2 blanks. Oh yeah, physics points out that dethrone would have been a lot safer than 3-no. That is very true. Wow. I don't know if that was a deliberate choice on Pete's part or a miss, because that is a really dangerous open E. All right, Pete plays mag. The second blank is still in the bag. Wow, okay, so no blank on Jacob's rack. Jacob's now down by 39. He's got the X for some scoring, though. He plays Knox for 40. We got a 1-point game. Pete's got 1 blank. Jacob may well have drawn the other. We'll see. Oh yeah, Amperage was the bingo missed by Pete last turn through that P and Ps. It wouldn't have scored much, but it's a bingo. I think you got to play it, especially because you might draw the second blank after you bingo once. Instead, Pete draws very badly. His leave of AEE yields more vowels and an F. He plays EE, leaving one in the bag, and ooh, I see phonemes. Yeah, phonemes comes down right away, and Pete's now down a bingo. I don't think this is going to play anywhere. He's got Aquifer, but no place to play it. Almost Fabrique. If Onu, O-N-U were a word, you could have Fabrique through the R. Ezekiel, very flashy. Pete's still going to lose, but that's a really cool play. Ex Aquifer, I like that. Creative idea for WTF. So yeah, one tile off from Fabrique, if only Onu were a word. And it'll be a win for Jakob, evening the series at 2 games apiece. Oh boy, so I am waiting with bated breath to see what happens in this match. Just a quick reminder about the standings in this group. Right now, Jakob is 2-0, Pete is 1-1. If Jakob wins, it's going to be him and Conrad in a dominating position, both 3-0 in the group, and the rest of us all chasing them at 2-1. If Pete wins, we're going to have a crazy multi-way tie for second place with Pete, Jakob, myself, and Cedric all 2-1, and Martin potentially 2-1 as well. So just like a whole bunch of 2-1s fighting for second place. So a very interesting match that a whole lot of things are hinging on right now. Jakob or Pete, one of them is going to be in a much better position after this match than they woke up this morning. We shall see. All right, back to the board as Game 5 is just now getting underway, and it is Jakob bingoing to open. He plays Angulis for 70 to start the game. Physics, this is, yes, a 3 plays 4. Jakob is the 3 seed and Peter is the 4 in Group D. And Cedric and I are the 2 and 5 we played earlier this week, with Cedric winning 5 games to 4. All right, so after Anglist, it is Pete down 70-0. He's holding an interesting rack. I don't believe there's a bingo, but he can score okay with it. Yeah, Keel for 21. So not a great draw for Jakob after the bingo. Too many consonants, sorry, not enough vowels. And Pete's got a rack where he wished he hadn't blocked his own eye for Brighton. Without Brighton, this is not a rack you can do much of anything with. You could play Bang, B-H-A-N-G through the A. That's probably one option worth considering. What else can you do here? I guess you could play Birth through the R in Lair, keeping, what is that, GNR? Pretty good leave, if you can draw a vowel or two to go with it. All right, so Bag, similar idea, just getting rid of some consonants for an okay score of 18. And a more balanced rack now for Jakob, who plays Gravid, keeping the AR leave on his rack, 22 points. Looks like a bingo here for Pete. I see Terrines through the R for a double-double for 86. That's probably the best, or 82, sorry. That's probably the best choice. Oh, okay, he plays Evernets instead. A small miss there, and he gets only 72. Looks like Jacob's wishing he got an O for Cordwain, I bet. But no Cordwain. Looking through that E in Evernets, is there anything? Yes, there is. There's Rewind. Nice play by Jakob for 42. Both Ys drawn by Pete now. He's down by a little bit, 43 points, about halfway through the game. How do you use the Ys to score some points? You kind of don't. That's not great. You could just play Pry through the R. That's pretty weak, I feel like. What else? What else? Yeah, not a great board for these Ys. It's never a great time to draw both Ys, but especially not now. I feel like that's one of the worst combinations for synergy, is the Y with the other Y. All right, Porny, nice higher scoring play than I saw. 20 points is better than something like Pry, score-wise. All right, so a more balanced rack for Jakob still. He's got some interesting scoring tiles with the C, the M, the P. Oh, Priapic, nice longer word there, 28. And only one Y to deal with now for Pete. Let's see here, what can you do with it? Still not a great board for the Y. Yeah, Becky in the chat says, hook the A on Gravid someone. That's right, there is still the open Gravida hook. I haven't seen like a great option for either player to use it for a lot of points, but that's definitely something to watch for. As for the current rack that Pete's got, what can you do? It's not easy. All right, Oye, that's a nice play to just use the Y and score a little bit. 21 with the leave of Iota. And the first blank goes the way of Jacob. 38 tiles in the bag. We'll still see who can draw the second one. And what can you do with these consonants? Your F and W. Looks like not a great board for either of them. You can play F from the E and Oye for a decent... No, FI is no good. Ignore me. What can you play with valid twos in it? All right, feet just unloads a lot of those consonants. 13 points. It also kills bingos up top, which is a good thing to do when you're up by, you know, a small amount. All right, there's the Gravidad hook, Becky, and Boa is going to give a nice score and a balanced leave of AIST to Pete here. All right, so Pete is basically down by a bingo now, 65-point deficit. And I don't think he's going to bingo with this rack. What am I missing? Iris 8 doesn't play. SS isn't good. I don't think there's much of anything here. You could just play Yetis from the Y, keeping AIS and scoring 27. That's not bad. What else can you do here? Okay, AIS is only 15, but keeps a good leave. And he draws the J. Interesting. Oh, wow. A massive Z play by Jacob, by the way. Jacob's now way ahead. So Pete needs to bingo twice, and he doesn't have the right rack to bingo even once right now. Oh, Aegis is a very good score, though. 67 for Aegis. He's going to try to draw that second blank. Yaman is a nice scoring play from Jacob, and Pete does draw the blank. What does he have for a bingo here? He's down by, what, 89 points, I believe? Oh, yeah, Unwoman would have been the right play there. Nice find by Josh there. Unwoman next to Pointy, making YU. All right, so Pete's going to not bingo. He plays GUS for 6, and Jacob just kills the spot, just playing 1 to just shut down all those bingos. Both players playing very quickly now. Pete's got seconds to go until he flags. 1 and 0. He's done. All right. So as Pete runs out of time, Jacob gets the win in Game 5, and he now takes the lead in the series 3 games to 2. And let's go ahead and update that on the scoreboard. We got Jacob with 3 wins. Okay. So Jacob was down 2-1. Now he's up 3-2. Things have swung back in his direction. And we'll see if Pete can battle back in games 6 and 7 coming up. Things are going to get real interesting here. All right, let's get underway right away. So Jacob with a good score with the X right away. He leads 34-10. But that gives a Y hotspot right back to Pete, who can play YE for 26. And an awkward draw for Jacob with the Q and the V. But Rev scores pretty well, and we can deal with the Q later, I guess. I don't believe this is a bingo. No, it's not. So just hit for only 14 points for Pete. And finally getting rid of the Q is Jacob. I would expect something like Oi, just like a short play here to score well with the Q. Or Oni, yeah, that's even better for better score. 36, keeping AET. And looks like not a bingo, but a good score. 45 for Hides for Jacob. And now Pete's got nothing that actually plays on this board, I believe. A lot of Staircase fans in the chat, I see. We've seen a few matches in this tournament where these players have played these like staircasey kind of boards, just kind of like gradually climbing from corner to corner. And the staircasing continues. Neither player bingoing or even coming that close to bingoing so far. Jacob with a small lead, 121-107. And now it's back to Jacob with 3 A's. A K that doesn't really have any hotspots available on this board. You can just play Akka. Okay, that's an option, I suppose. Bit is a 16-point play to unload some of those extra continents, and it is now back to Jacob, who has not much of anything, I don't think. I guess just like, well, Bit takes an E. There's probably some sort of, oh, how about Furia? Furia and Bit. Okay, Grafter. That's just blowing up the rack for 28. Okay. And I don't believe there's a bingo that plays for Pete here. No steel bow or pistol, but he plays Brow for 36. Good score, good leave. Can't knock it. And Jacob's got the Z and the blank. Fun stuff. 38 points. He plays Zune, keeping CIV blank. Longest comes down from Pete for the lead, but I think Jacob's going to bingo back pretty soon. Maybe not this turn, though. I don't think there's anything in this rack. Oh, Vesicas. Vesicas is the play here. Did not see that one myself. Had to cheat. But yeah, Vesicas at 0-3. Looks like it is by far the best play here. See if Jacob can find that. I don't think I would have in a game. That is a hard word. Jacob, though, taking his time. He probably knows there's something here worth looking for. It is hard to take a long think in these Blitz games, but here's where you got to do it. All right, he chose Valley instead of finding Vesicas, and then Uremia comes down real quick from Pete. Still a couple of heavy consonants on the rack for Jacob, the F and the C now. He plays Phi odds for a pretty good score, 26. We got a close game. Pete ahead by a little bit. And both players exchange mid-30s scores, so it's still a small lead for Pete. Pete on turn ahead by 25 now. 23 points with the W, and I don't think this is going to work for a bingo here. Yeah, just 29 for Cod instead. So Pete has remained just a little bit ahead throughout this mid to late game, but Jacob is still trying to find a bingo with that blank to take the lead. Board getting tougher and tougher to bingo, and there is still line 4 if you can find a hook for of, like oft, if you got a word ending in T, for example. But I don't know if that's going to happen for Jacob with these racks. Pete with a good score with Leva for 33. He's now pretty far ahead. 52-point lead. He's going to need a bingo, Jacob is. Jacob definitely staying in it, Ollie, but it's a tough board, though. Like, you got to find a bingo on this board, and it's hard to do. He plays ifs for 26. 5 tiles in the bag. I would imagine that Pete wants to just score as well as he can without emptying the bag. Maybe you want to play in line O, some sort of overlappy play, just in case there's a possible bingo there. You also got to worry about bingos in line 4 making oft. I mean, yeah, the off spot is interesting with 2 blanks. I would agree with that. The 2 blanks unseen to Peter are very scary. I mean, Pete's ahead by enough points that if he can just score okay and not empty the bag, he might be able to outrun a bingo. He's only up by 26 now after ifs. That's not a huge lead. Yeah, if Pete scores a small amount and then Jacob bingos, it's going to be a very, very close endgame. 5 tiles in the bag. You'd love to play 3 or 4. Ooh, only 6 points for Topai. But I don't think Jacob drew anything. He's got one of the 2 blanks. Pete might draw the other one. We'll see. All right, Pete does have the second blank, and what does Jacob have? Can he bingo out? A word ending in T, anything? Molinet, there it is. So Jacob bingos out for the win, and he leads the match now 4-2. A big, big turn of events as Jacob draws the winning bingo and plays it. Wait, no, Molinet was Peter. My bad. Peter bingos out, Peter wins. The series is now tied 3-3, excuse me. Okay. It all happens so fast in these Blitz matches. You just kind of lose control of the match and just don't know what's going on. All right. So, after my little goof up, let's get the correct score up there. The match score is actually Jacob 3, Peter 3. We got a close match. Both players had blanks there at the end, and yeah, sack the commentator. I agree. I will fire myself into the sun. All right, so Peter gets the win, excuse me, and we are tied 3-3. It is a best of 3 from here. Games 7, 8, and 9 will decide a whole lot. Group D supremacy is hanging in the balance. And by supremacy, I mean second place, because again, Conrad is dominating the group. But second place in the group is hanging in the balance. And all right, to open game 7, it'll be Jacob playing drunk for 30 and Peter drawing mostly vowels, not a great rack. You'd love to just kind of play along and just blow up these letters if you can, but I don't see a great way to do that. Okay, Avant, that'll be okay. You keep 2 eyes though. More reasonable draw for Jacob. He's got a pretty good collection of scoring tiles. I see Mule in the top left corner next to Avant there as one option. All right, so Mule, Wage is also a choice you could go with. A couple of options. Okay, Gaw. He chooses Gaw, keeping ELMS. Pretty good leave. Problem is it gives an X hotspot back to Pete, who can just play Ox right away. I would expect. Okay, Tix instead. You do lose your T, but you undouble your I's. Firm. Good scoring play. And then Ovoidals right away. Pete bingos. All right. So Pete's got a little bit of a lead early. I don't believe Cleomes goes anywhere here for Jacob. And if you don't get Cleomes here, what are your other options? I don't think you're bingoing. There is nothing with the S, nothing with the L, and Coelomes through the O does not fit. If you can't bingo, you'd like to kind of keep a decent bingo prone leave and score some. I'm looking in line O there. Not really much of anything to play there. Okay, so Mu is the choice, 26 points, and he draws the Q. Pete scores pretty well with the Z, 35 points for Zoe. All right, Splice, keeping just the Q. Interesting leave for Jacob. He'll have the Q and 6 random tiles to go with it. Bops, and now J, Q, and blank all at once for Jacob. You could just play QI. Oh, you play Gene first. Yeah, kill that spot, line 15. It's too heavy scoring for your opponent. And is this a bingo? I don't think it is. I'm looking through the L and the S, and there just isn't quite anything. So Fermi, just getting rid of the I and fishing. I kind of like that. All right, so Strain hits a lot of tiles. Yeah, Brisant with a B. But Brisant doesn't go anywhere. There might not be a bingo that fits here. Oh, did Intarsia play? Yeah, Intarsia played in line 9. Good point. So Intarsia was the bingo there for Peter, but he's going to have a chance to bingo soon enough anyway. He might try to fish again and get rid of this B and go for something next turn. We'll see. Yeah, no Brisants. I believe Brisant means noisy. Explosive or shattering, says Isabel. Okay. So adjective either way, no S hook on that. What do you do? All right, so just the B for 7. Interesting choice. Now Jacob's got a lot of E's. He plays off 2 of them, and I think Pete's gonna bingo now. So the benefit of EE is it blocks the most high-scoring bingo spot for Pete. But he's gonna get 66 anyway for Anestri. And oh wow, was Ghee Cheese actually available? Oh my gosh. He had Ghee Cheese bingoing with all 4 E's. That is craziness. All right, well, he's going to play through it anyway. He is now, Jacob, that is down by 18. Pete's got a small lead, but he's got a whole bunch of consonants. You could play Hying. Okay, you played Didi. That gets rid of 3 of those consonants and scores 25. Acetate is the bingo from Jacob. We got a close game. Pete down by 29, and he's on turn. What can you play here? Just barely can't fit Thongier. There's an S in the way. So, yeah, tough spot here. 13 tiles in the back, including a blank. I think there have been a lot of late blanks getting drawn at the very end of these games in this match. All right, Hog, a short play, keeping E-N-O-R-T. Can Pete bingo? It's going to be tough. We'll see what he draws, and we'll see how the board looks after this turn. Dula, and ooh, NN is the draw by Pete. I don't think he wanted to draw NN. There's no open I for non-inert. He just fishes, playing off an N for 2 points. Wow. He'd better draw something. Are there any words Will doesn't know? I'm going to go with no on that one, unless they're longer than 8 letters. Also phonies, yeah, good call. All right, so Fitly is going to kill the most obvious spot for a bingo, but Pete does bingo with Tenener. Tenener for 77. He's ahead by 7. Both players very low on time. Jakob is probably going to go over. Pete's got only an O on his rack. This is going to be very, very close. Pete's got 0.2 on the clock. He's probably going to have to go over. So it'll probably be only a 7-point deficit, not 17 after the 10 points penalty. But I don't see a great way for Jakob to score with this rack. How many points is Pete going to get for his O? Well, okay, I see go and oi for 8 for Pete. So Jacob's looking to score, maybe 20 should make this a close game. This is going to be very, very close. What's the best play for Jakob here? He's got the W. Oh, it is just not a great board for that W. 10 seconds left. All right, he plays Caw for 27. It's going to be very close. 20-point deficit. And there's, 8 points on Jakob. I think Jacob's going to win by a couple. Unless there's an O spot that I'm missing. With his O, Pete needs 12 to tie and 13 to win. I only find 8 so far. What else is there with the O? Anything? I don't think he's going to get 12. So it's probably going to be a narrow victory here for Jakob, a crucial victory in Game 7 with 2 games to go. Pete is looking for any high-scoring spot for that O. Probably don't want to try O drunks. Probably don't want to try DDO Tenener. About 5 seconds to go, and Pete is just looking, and he finally just plays... Oh, he challenges Call out of desperation, and then he plays the O. Okay. So Jakob holds on and wins by 9. Your final score is Jakob 400 and Pete 391. It is a crucial win in the 7th game, as he now takes a 4-3 lead over Pete. Let's go ahead and update that score. It is 4-3 with a do-or-die Game 8 for Pete Armstrong coming up, followed by a do-or-die Game 9 if he can win Game 8. There'll still be a Game 9 even if it's 5-3. It'll just be not do or die. So just a reminder, we have more Scrabble coming your way. After Jakob and Pete finish up, we're going to have Doug Brockmeier and Ricky Purnomo right here on this channel. And then after that, we're going to get a raid to Mr. Weibin Toe as Weibin takes on Sean Abbasi on his Twitch in about an hour. So a packed Saturday evening / Sunday morning of Scrabble, depending on where you are in the world. Hope you guys all enjoy it. We're going to have 2 more games between Pete and Jakob to determine the winner of this crucial match. Again, very important for the standings in this group that both players fight for this win, because Jakob is needing a win to stay undefeated, and Pete is needing a win to go to 2-1. Remember, if Pete wins this match, it's going to be a massive, 4-way tie, possibly 5-way tie for second place at 2-1 in this group. So Pete, with a win here, would be in contention for the playoffs, but with a loss, it's going to be pretty tough. All right, the game is getting underway now. Game 8 between Jakob and Pete, and it is Microns in opening rack bingo for Pete. It is, or Crimson, that is also a bingo. All right, so Crimson for 78. Played vertically because Pete is terrible. I'm sorry, I have this strong phobia of vertical openings. Yes, a Micron is a mini Dacron. Thank you, Dacron, for that. All right. So Jakob looking to close out the match, but he is down by a bingo early. He plays Drift, and a 32-point play of the Q gives Pete a big opening lead here. So what do you do now if you are Jakob? Not any great scoring spots for these. I guess a Drift is a word, so you can play like WAP or something there. Or you can play... Okay, Doe is 24 points, and a nice score for Yevon for 39 for Pete. So a very good start for Pete Armstrong, scoring very well. out to a 107-point lead. Both W's for Jacob. Wud is going to get rid of one of them, and Pronowi is the bingo that does not play, I believe. So, I don't know what Pete can do here. You could just play, okay, Apo and Adrift. Wow, another good score, 40 points with just APO. So Pete's scoring very well, but Dewlap for 49 is going to keep Jacob in it a little bit. Yes, to those of you wondering about the pictures, these are just the pictures that Wespa has on file. They are admittedly quite old. Both players are looking pretty young in these headshots, especially Jacob, yeah. All right, so great is a score that is not that great for Jacob, only 25. He is still down by a bingo, and not a great rack for Pete either, but he can play through it, I'm sure. You'd love to have a spot for Ahi or something like that, but okay, eyeing, 20 points for that, and it kind of makes it a little bit harder for Jacob to bingo. There's no eyeings. All right, back, high scoring play there, 43 for Jacob. So Pete is up by a bingo, and he draws the X for some continued scoring here. You might not want to play X in at 14M because it does open up some stuff along the bottom row, but it is a great, score and leave kind of play. All right, Ibex, that's probably a little bit safer, yeah. Unless your opponent's got the V for Vibex, in which case, rip. All right, 39 for Ibex, and Pete adds to his lead, almost 100 points up now. A must-win game 8 for Pete, and he is so far in position to win it. Jacob trying to come back. 44 points for Agouti is a nice play, but Pete draws the first blank of the game, and I don't think there's going to be any bingoing on this board. I think if you're Pete, you don't mind keeping the board a little bit closed. You are up by 48 still, and you can just wait for Jacob to open and pounce when he does, since you've got that blank. Then again, you can't really score that well with this rack, and so you don't want Pete to just, you don't want Jacob, that is, to just chase you down, scoring-wise. So it's a hard position, I think. I'm just looking for any way to score, even 20 points with these tiles. It's not easy to do. What can you do? You got 45 seconds left. All right, Kern is 8 points. Very, very good lead of ARST blank. And oh, there's the V. Wow, 54 points for Vale. But Pete draws both blanks now, and he's got Legators. He's got bingos from the L for sure. He does play Legators, and now it's a pretty big lead with a pretty hard board for Jacob to come back. Found is another very nice score. We've seen Jacob just score 43 a lot of times. He is just scoring very, very well, even when he's not bingoing. Pete, though, draws the J and a nice balanced rack with it. He's still ahead by a good amount. He plays the J for 21. The board is totally closed. He's up by 54, that is, sorry. And it looks pretty safe for Pete here. He did play Found so quickly. Even after his opponent gave him the spot, he played there instantly. All right, so Deify is the choice from Pete, or from Jacob, and wow, Pete bingos right away in the spot. All right, so Pete is going to win game 8 and force a deciding game 9. Wow. Whew. So we're going to have one more game for all the marbles, and then after that, don't go anywhere because we've got Doug Brockmeier and Ricky Purnomo coming up. Jacob is letting the final seconds tick away here, but he has not much to do about this deficit. He's down by 100 in the end game, and there is no bingo, no nothing. I guess you could try to Z-stick your opponent, but I don't think that's going to work either. There are plenty of places to play something like ZE, including a couple of very, very high scoring ones. The Chaco is going to 9 again, that's right. So Pete last week played Cedric Lewis. They went to the last 9th game, and Cedric won 5-4. And then this week, I played Cedric Lewis. That also went 9, and again, Cedric won 5-4. And now Pete's playing Jacob, and they're going to 9 games, and Pete will try to win a game 9 this time. We'll see how it goes. Jacob is letting his clock tick away here, but there is nothing to be found. There are 3 very high scoring spots for the Z, including the Zin and Zo at G9. And of course, ZE goes in 2 places up top as well. So yes, all the matches go 9 one way or another, but a deciding game 9 is something else. It's a pretty fun experience when you have one game for all the marbles, and it's so fast paced. It's a lot of fun. All right, so 20 seconds now left for Jacob before he flags, and he is apparently going to take all this time that he can. Why not, right? All right, he finally plays emote, and I would imagine we're going to see Zoe or Z pretty quickly here from Pete. He's going to go over, but that's okay. He's got plenty of points to burn. Sandbagging for content. Sure, why not? All right, so Zol and then Alu, and we're done here. So Jacob loses game 8 by a final score of 478 to 361, and we are now tied at 4 games apiece. All right, game 9 coming up for everything, for all the marbles. And again, the winner of this game is going to be in a pretty good position in the standings. If Jacob wins, he is 3-0, tied with Conrad for first place, and if Pete wins, he is 2-1, tied with Jacob and me and Cedric and maybe Martin too, all of us at 2-1, depending on the outcome of Martin's match later this weekend. So very, very pivotal match for both players, and it's all coming down to one game. So Jacob and Peter, game 9 coming up. As soon as one of them clicks that button for rematch, we'll show it to you. It does feel like there's been a lot of 5-4 matches. I think that as these pairings get a little bit closer to the top players playing each other, we're going to have more and more 5-4 matches. We got the 2 versus 5 and 3 versus 4 this week. We're going to have 2 versus 3, a very important match next week, including myself versus Jacob. And then pretty much every week from here on out, there's going to be some close matches in terms of the seedings. There's going to be some 2s versus 3s, and then some other matches after that in the following weeks. So going to have a lot of dramatic finishes. I'm looking forward to them. Oh, Becky, if Doug and Ricky want to go ahead and start, that's fine. I will just kind of join them in progress. That's not a problem. If I miss a game, that's not the end of the world. I don't mind those guys just starting. If they want to wait, that's fine too. It's really up to them. All right, so we have game 9 getting started right now. And, ooh, opening bingo for Jacob. Look at that. Burning right away for 80 plus the 5 for the challenge. So 85 to nothing. Jacob's got the early lead. What can Pete do about that? He's got 2 Vs. Not a great rack for him here. What can he do with it? He plays a Val for 17. And that's going to give a big old hotspot for the H back to Jacob. I would expect HOUF in that spot for a very heavy score. If he's not playing it instantly, he's probably not sure of it. I don't think there's anything else even close to that good. But yeah, Jacob taking his time. He plays Alf for 29 instead, so a little break caught there by Pete. All right, so Jacob with a 100-point lead, but it's a big H hotspot for Pete now, and he scores 56 with it. Game gets a little bit closer that way, so now it's a 63-point lead, and Vixen, another good score for Pete, making this game a little bit closer. Jacob drawing kind of ugly. He plays high O for 14, and Brinnies is the bingo here for Pete. Can he spot this one and know that it's good? I believe Brinnies and Blennies are words. Easy to get those confused and think that it's like Brennies or Blinnies. But yeah, Brinnies is valid, and that is the bingo here into the S. Does he know it, and can he pull the trigger and play it? Oh, sad. All right, so Bin comes down for 9, and still not a great draw for Jacob, though. He's got too many E's and a Y. What can be done with this? All right, lay for 31, and oof, not a good draw for Pete. All right. So Pete can just play off some E's. Yeah, he plays EE for 15, but that kind of kills bingos a little bit through the S, but we still have 8s ending in S there. All right, Jacob exchanges, and Pete draws well. He's got the blank now. Pete will take the lead with the bingo here. Reunions or anything into that S. So Pete's down by 15. He's going to score probably about 74. Nitrius is the choice. That's fine. Pete leads, and Jacob is still drawing too many vowels. That's rough. So 5 vowels with the N and the T, and Eon dumps a bunch of them. So it's 17 points, sorry. And I believe trail is a word. Yeah, Treille, trail. And it does play, making bit in line 12. Actor Typo rating with a party of 11. Welcome to the Actor Typo crowd. Thanks for joining us. We are in the middle of game 9. Jakob Teitelbaum, Pete Armstrong. One game for all the marbles. Winner of this game wins the match. And why I know dark mode? Because light mode is better. I like things to be nice and white. They're easily visible. I don't care. I know nobody agrees with me, but I like it. All right, EL for Peter. That is a sad miss, but he might have another chance to bingo, I bet. All right, so Clitter is a rack that doesn't play, I believe, right? Clitter doesn't go anywhere. All right, close game. Pete's ahead by 9. 215, 206. Dark mode is best. Oh my God, you guys are killing me. I'm a light mode guy. I think I just like the purple tiles, and both are great. There you go. All right, so 30 seconds left for Pete. Still plenty of tiles to go. Tilter for 16. And, oh, great draw for Jakob. He's got ADEIST blank. He plays Stater with all the overlaps. Wow. Wow, 84, and it's going to kill the board pretty well, too. So Pete's now down by 59. He'll have to look for bingos in line B, making something like C or P. Actually, I guess since EA takes an S, there's still that bingo lane. So Peck keeps DERS, and a weird draw for Jakob, but Cat is going to kill the bingo lane. That's a great defensive play there. So now Pete's down by a bingo, and he can't really play a bingo anywhere. But ZE for 66 is a big score, and Pete takes the lead by 1. Okay, close game. 37 for the J for Jakob. He now leads. All 7 consonants for Pete. That's brutal. Wow, just brutal. He has not drawn well here at the end. After the big J play and the overtime penalty, it's now a 46 point deficit. Sorry, 46. Pete's behind. 8 tiles in the bag, terrible rack. Can he open a bingo lane anywhere? It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. What can be done? He just exchanges. Wow, terrible draw for both players. Only 3 vowels in the entire pool. There's a total of how many tiles still out there? 15 tiles, and only 3 are vowels. All right, Mull is going to burn 2 consonants, but there's more consonants to be drawn. Pete draws a little bit more reasonably, but still there's no bingo lanes on this board. What do you do? Can you open one? There's still 6 in the bag. Clock is ticking. You got 20 seconds until you flag. What can you do? Can you fish and open something? It's very hard. He's got 13 seconds, 12 seconds, 11, 10. Clock is ticking. He plays retax to open the board, and there's all consonants for Jakob. Oh my. 3 in the bag. Do you just kill the spot with Rue or something? I don't know. Few? Still an ugly pool. Pete probably still can't bingo. Look at that pool. It's very, very bad. So that's a phony 3. CER. It comes off. But still, Pete can't do much. He plays drugs. He's still behind. 6 tiles now on Pete's rack. Pete has 3 seconds until he flags. Jacob's got way more time. He can slow down and think, but what's to think about? You got too many consonants. What can you do? Pete's got 3 seconds before he flags and loses the match. He's down by 22. It's Jacob's turn, though. There's just no place to put any of these consonants. What do you do? Wow, 23 for Dak right away. Pete is scoring well. Lig for 8. It's going to be very close. Are you C-stuck? You might be C-stuck. Pete's still got 2 seconds and only 2 tiles now. You can play Lack for 5. There is at least 1 C spot. Or Cell for 5. There are spots to play the C. R. 11 for the T. Pete's scoring really well. Wow! Pete wins by 2! Unbelievable! Pete wins by 2. It's a 402 to 400 final. Unbelievable finish. Wow. Jakob is stuck with all consonants at the end, and Pete just 1 tiles away, and with 1 second to go, wins the game by 2 and wins the match 5-4. Unbelievable. This is the game of the tournament. I'm just floored. Pete wins by 2 in a just bonkers endgame. So I don't know what to say. Your final score is going to be Peter Armstrong 5, Jakob Teitelbaum 4. I can't even talk. I'm so flabbergasted. 5-4 is your final as Pete wins 402 to 400 to clinch the match. Just unreal. And yeah, Becky says next vlog is about this game. Yeah, that might be the case. So Pete wins by 2, and the match is over. Just a bizarre end game. I mean, it wasn't a great game for either player, to be honest. Like, both players, had some bingo misses early and had their chances to take the lead. It was a pretty close game late. Jakob had the lead with, swimming well to J. It had like a 30 or 40 point lead. Pete opens the board with retacks up top, just opening some lanes up top. Jakob plays a phony 3 of CER through the E. He had all 7 consonants. And then Pete just challenges off the 3 and just plays off his tiles. He plays drugs, followed by a whole bunch of one tile plays. And in the end, he wins by 2, 402 to 400. Just a ridiculous game. I could go into examine mode, that's true. Yeah, let's just take a quick look at this, because it was a weird game all around. So Birming to open for Jakob, and then after, there was a play here where Houf, H-O-U-F, I think was the right option here for Jakob, but that was missed, and instead Pete gets the spot for Hoyes for 56. And then after that, both players kind of make some short plays, and it's a close game most of the way, with like Jakob a little bit ahead most of the way. Pete falls behind by bingo. Bingo's with nitrous to make it close. And then, there were some missed plays here. Jakob has a great play of Seder for 84 to take the lead. He's ahead by a bingo pretty much. Board looking pretty close after QAT. And at this point, you have a 36-point lead for Jakob, and the board's pretty closed up. It looks pretty good, but he's got all consonants, and he tries to play through it. And this is when Pete opens the board. He plays retacks. So at this point, you've got 372, 339, a 33-point lead for Jakob. And really all he's got to do is just shut it down, hold on to that 33-point lead, and you're fine, right? But the phony 3 comes off, mind you, with 10 seconds on Pete's clock until he flags. Yeah, crew is the play, as Jakob says. Or as Josh says, just play anything. Yeah. Sorry, James says, not Jakob, my bad. But yeah, after the phony 3, it comes off, and then Pete manages to score just enough in the end game. He's down by 33. He gets drugs for 21. He gets DAC for 23. He gets Lig for 8. He gets Doubt for 11. And he wins by 2. It's a final score of 402 to 400. And just a bizarre ending to a bizarre match. And Peter Armstrong gets the win, 5-4. And just a quick look at the standings in this group. This was before the match began, that is. Jakob was 2-0. He'll now be 2-1. Peter was 1-1. He'll now be 2-1. So we're going to have Conrad 3-0, undefeated. And then Jakob 2-1. Myself 2-1. Cedric 2-1. Peter 2-1. And then Martin, if he wins tomorrow, also 2-1. There could be a 5-way tie for second place, and we are all chasing Conrad. So that is the situation. And yes, Conrad is literally undefeated. He is 27-0. But of course, he's still got to play Jakob and me and Cedric and Pete and Martin. So we'll see. Is he a cheater? Yeah, I think he's probably a cheater. All right, we are late for our next match. I apologize to fans of Ricky and Doug who wanted to watch them. We can still do that. Let's take a look at those guys. They are currently playing. All right, so let's go to the board. We have got... Oh, I got to change your scoreboard. Sorry about that. All right. This is Ricky Purnomo and Doug Brockmeier. I will reset the scoreboard to reflect that reality, and we can update everything that's going on. All right, so let's get a picture of Doug on your screen, and let's get a picture of Ricky on your screen, and then let's write the name Doug Brockmeier on your screen, and then let's write the name Rick E. Purnomo on your screen, and then let's center the names Ricky Purnomo on your screen. Okay, we got Doug, we got Ricky, and we've got a match that I believe is just getting started. I believe this is still game 1 between Doug and Ricky. So at the top of your screen is Woogie, that is Doug Brockmeier, and at the bottom of your screen is Sonic, that is Ricky Purnomo, and I believe this is still game 1 of 9. so we didn't miss much. This does look good centered properly, right? See, the other thing I like besides light mode is center aligned text. I think it looks awesome. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm sticking with center aligned text. And Conrad pointed out that when you center everything, including the logos and the pictures and everything, it all looks good together. So that's what I'm going with. We got a nice centered scoreboard with Doug and Ricky. And it looks like a good game here that I had been babbling and not paying attention to. My bad. Doug leads 335-307, but it is Ricky's turn, down by only 28. Pretty nice bounce rack. He plays I for 48 and the lead. So here we go. Another close endgame. I'm still tired from that other pre-endgame and endgame we had earlier, so I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to sit in my water. I'm going to relax a little bit, and let's brace ourselves for more close Scrabble action. Hope you guys are all having a good Saturday evening / Sunday morning. Hope you guys are enjoying the Scrabble action, enjoying the snow for those of you that have it. And hope you guys are ready for 9 more fun games because we got Ricky and Doug coming up. I just noticed my phone is blowing up with people messaging about about Pete's win. I will respond to you guys later. But all right. If you're just joining us, we saw Pete Armstrong win a dramatic final game over Jakob Teitelbaum to win 5-4. And we now got what should be another close match between two very good players, Doug Brockmeier, Woogie, and Ricky Purnomo, Sonic. All right, 4 in the bag. Ricky ahead by a pretty good margin now. Doug has a bingo-looking rack, but on this board it's going to be tough. 4 tiles in the bag. Can you open something? This is interesting. Yeah, it's tough. The pool of unseen tiles is pretty clunky, which means that it's going to be hard to block a lot of setups that you can make here for Ricky. If there's anything through the letters in voice that maybe takes a hook or something, like you could play. Could you play ever? Because there's no like Daver or Javer or Naver. Oh, Raver. There's 2 R's. You probably don't want to play ever. Something like that, though, like a word that takes a hook. Oh, wait, amain is a word. Oh, yeah, amain's a word. Okay, so any bingo at all making amain. Oh, okay, sad. I didn't see it either for a while, so I can't criticize too much. Unround. Are you a word, unround? I don't know you. Ricky tries unround. It might be good. Unround is good, okay. So a nice bingo by Ricky, and that should seal the deal, up by over 130 in the endgame. So yeah, costly mistake there, not seeing a main. And Ricky capitalizes. He gets the win 519-410, and Ricky Purnomo is now 1-0 in the match. Let's go ahead and update that for you. It is Ricky 1, Doug 0, and game 2 coming up. So, a quick look at the standings in Group E. If I can find those. Yes, they are right here on my screen. Okay. So, whoop, that is the wrong group. My bad. All right. We got Will Anderson, 3-0, 25-2 in his 27 games, leading the group. And then after that is Ben Schoenbrunn, 3-0, 21-6. Luke Manoa-Labi lost to Benji earlier today, so he's now 2-1. And we got Doug, who is now going to be either joining that 3-0 group or joining the 2-1 group. We shall see which. Ricky, meanwhile, has already got 1 loss. Pretty much needs to win today to stay in contention. It's going to be tough if he's 1-2 to battle back. So, just like earlier with Pete and Jacob, a very close match with a lot of implications for both players in the standings in the group. All right, let's take a look at game 2. Just getting started, and Doug plays Woogie. Are you kidding me? Doug just played Woogie. Doug plays Woogie and Ricky lets it go. I don't know what to say. That is not a word, folks. I don't even know what to say to that. That is incredible. Did Ricky let it go because he thought it was good, or was it just like a sign of respect that like you deserve that phony? I am just shocked. Woogie has played Woogie and it has stayed on the board. It is a very, very phony word. Who is Woogie? Woogie is Doug. Woogie is the person playing right now. He's also the namesake of Woogles.io, which we are also watching right now. Who is Woogie? All right. After that ridiculous phony, we got a close game. Ricky is down by 8 points, 52 to 44. Congratulations to Doug Brockmeier, winner of BlitzChamps 2021. Oh my gosh. So Woogie is the phony of the day. Well, that and CER. Those are the two phonies of the day. Yeah, I don't know what to say after that. That's just unbelievable. All right, so after that ridiculousness, it is Ricky on turn, down by 20. He's got the Z and the X. Not a great board for... Okay, you can play Les's. That's a good play, 50 points. And Les's is good. I believe it's good with either the 1Z or the 2. So +5 for the challenge. And Doug's going to exchange some excess consonants, keeping ERST, and he draws pretty well. He's got sitters. But does it play on this board? Stretty? Does that take an S? It doesn't. There might not be any bingo at all that plays here, huh? What am I missing? I do not see a playable bingo. Doug is taking his time and looking, but yeah, I just don't think there's anything here to find. Also, does Woogie take an S? We don't really know yet. We'll have to see if Ricky is game for letting Woogies stay on. All right, so Ricky's scoring pretty well. 40 points for Docs, 32 for Yike. Just piling on the big scoring plays. Who needs bingoing? All right, Doug does. He bingos with Desserts for 60, but is still behind even after the bingo. Ricky's at 181 without bingoing at all. Just scoring very well, 35 or 40 each turn. All right, so the Woogie's spot is killed. We will never know if there is an S-hook on Woogie. Very sad we won't find that out. Only one bingo in Woogie blank blank. Oh, good wife. Nice find by Mac in the chat. I know Rig Woogie has a 9, but didn't see an 8 there. All right, what to do with this rack if you're Ricky? You're up by 28. You have mostly one-pointers. I don't see like a star scoring play, really. I'd love to have like a 6 from the C to the D at 2J, but I don't think there is one. What do you do? This is just not a great position. Can't really score much. It's hard to defend super well with all those letters to play through for 8s. What can you do? So, time really ticking now for Ricky Purnomo. He's got to worry about the clock. You could have a situation here where he is ahead on the scoreboard but loses on time. All right, he does play Curias for 16 points, and Doug draws the first of the 2 blanks. Probably not going to bingo this turn, but over he scores very well, 32, and Ricky's got to hurry up. Still 31 tiles to go, and he's over his first 3 minutes with 1 minute to go. All right, what's the bingo here? And grasp and slap. Anything else? Oh no, Woogie doesn't know and grasp, says Dacron. Yeah, that's probably true. Tit and an ovary, that's great. Allison, nice observation there. All right. Oh yeah, and grasp is Collins only. All right, grapnels, that's a word. 62 points for that, and Ricky is hurrying up now. Of for 26 played right away. A small lead now for Doug, and he has a lot more time on the clock as well. Still 50 seconds left in his first 3 minutes. I see a hotspot for the W, and so does Doug. He plays it. 26 points for the W. And GUE, I guess guanine, anguin, those didn't go anywhere, huh? Yeah. Let's see. Doug's now ahead by 22. Pretty close game. He plays mitered. Nice scoring play, 30. And Ricky doing a great job speeding up. Quickly playing the H for 29. Trying to score as well as he can to stay within striking distance. Yeah, no ungained. Nice try. All right, hobbed. Is that a word? I don't know anything. Is hobbed good? It is. Okay. Hobbed comes down for a good score, 49, and Doug is adding to his lead. Doug draws the blank, and that should do it. Looks like Doug's going to win here in game 2. Ricky just can't score enough to keep pace. It is a 0 bingo game for Ricky. He did his best to keep pace without bingoing at all, but in the end, Doug just overpowering him here. He's got the second blank. Probably can't bingo, but doesn't even matter really. Yes, Doug knew all of the words, even Davidson. One of the all-time great phonies, Davidson. Davidson, of course, where basketball great Steph Curry went to college. All right, Oakham, 37 points. Nice play with the blank. And Doug is going to win by a final score of 379 to 333. And the match is now tied 1 game apiece between Doug and Ricky. Let's go ahead and update the score. It is now, like I said, tied 1-1, and game 3 coming up. So 7 games still to go in this one. If you're just joining us, let me just fill you in. There is a lot more Scrabble still to come. Right after this, we're going to have Weibin To against Shauna Bassi. That's going to be on Weibin's channel, twitch.tv/nibnew. And then a whole lot more matches coming up later in the weekend with a lot of top seeds still to play. You see Chris May, you see Andrew Fisher, you see Austin Shin. A lot of good players still to play this weekend. A lot of action to enjoy on Wiggles.io. All right, game 3. Getting started, and we've got an opening exchange from Doug, and so it'll be Ricky putting tiles on the board with 16 points for Vang. All right, so back to Doug, and he's got a little bit of more balanced rack this time. Wow, Doug exchanged all 7 with AEGIKOU. It seems like a very playable rack, but he chooses to exchange instead. It's interesting. All right, so Gay for 15. It's a pretty short play here from Doug, keeping ADIFS, and he draws Faddies. F-A-D-D-I-E-S. I believe that is good, and I am wrong. It is not a word at all. Okay, don't play that. He does play it. No, sad. It comes off. Yeah, Fuddies, good call. That's what I was thinking of. All right, so after the phony comes off the board, it is Ricky on turn, ahead by a little bit, 42 to 15. What can you do here? I see the G hook on aw to make gaw. You can play like axing and gaw for a decent score. What else? What else? I don't know. This is high quality content. Honestly, phonies are more entertaining than valid words, and we're getting a lot of entertainment. Yeah, XPing, there you go. XPing keeps what? AIN, that's a good leave. All right, Nix is 30 points. Can't argue with that. And it's back to Doug, who can play Faddies again if he wants to, or he can play a valid word. I see... No, I don't. I was going to say I see diff, but that makes PID. Don't do that. I feel like I've seen PID before. All right, Faded for 39. Very good score from Doug with the F, keeping a leave of IS. He almost had Davidson there. He had like David Seth. 2 tiles off. All right. Yeah, Piraguas is the play here. Find the Piraguas. Can he do it? He does not. All right, Gip for 22 instead. Sad. All right. Let's see. There's an open A for these consonants. You can play like Bark or Kabar, or not Kabar, Bark. Anything else to consider? I guess there's 2 different spots for Bark or Kabar. All right, so Biss is a nice score, 36. The leave is pretty ugly, though. KRRT. Let's see what he can draw. Oh, more balanced rack. He gets some vowels to go with it. Very fortunate there. So Doug's only down by 21 now, and he's got a pretty balanced rack. No bingos, but you can fight through this. He's got the K hook on aw. He can play something like rink if he knows caw and finds it. He does. Okay, he does find caw. Nice. 29 points for that. And unsafer furranes are the words that Ricky has that might not play. Don't play Frink. He's a character on The Simpsons. He's not a real word. I don't believe there's a valid hook for Rink on his rack. Rink takes front hooks of B, D, and P. Yeah, you don't have those letters. Unsafer and Furains, I believe, don't go anywhere. That's unfortunate. All right, so just Furain keeps your S and scores 32. Not bad. All right, Netroot is the word for Doug that also plays nowhere, I believe. So if you can't bingo, which I don't think you can, what else can you do here? Yeah, this is tough. Not a great like scoring fishing option available. Only 8 points for 2, but a good leave. E-N-O-R-T. We saw Pete fish with E-N-O-R-T last round and he drew N-N. So let's hope that Doug is, for his sake, luckier than that. All right, pretty ugly stuff for Ricky. 6 consonants and a U. Let's see how he can play through it. I imagine he'll play something. Maybe. Jeez, not great though. Not great at all. What can you do? What can you do? Ricky is once again doing a little bit worse on the clock than Doug is. He's got only 25 seconds now. Doug's got over a minute. It's been a pretty consistent pattern that Doug has been very strong throughout the whole tournament at using his clock. He has been playing quickly and finding plays that score a lot of points very quickly. He's a little bit down in this one though. 152, 127, down by 25. All right, Eve for 8 points. Just another fishing play. Zemstva, very nice play from Ricky. Big score, 42, and it unloads all those clunky consonants, keeping just the U on his rack. Negator, I see Estragon through the S as one choice for Doug here. Stone Rag is also a word. Oh yeah, that's much better than Estragon, my bad. Stone Rag is the play here. Oh, Negator instead, opening the triple, and let's see, no spot for like Aboiteau or Aboiteau. Oh, there is a spot for Aboiteau. Aboiteau through the N is probably the choice here. Oh, sad. All right, so Aon instead, and Doug catches a break. He is ahead, but Ricky with another chance to bingo here. Can he draw anything that he can spot on this board? Not easy. What plays on this board? Jeez, maybe nothing. Not seeing it. Did I say Aboiteau through the N? You know what I meant. Aboiteau through the T, whatever. It is so hard to commentate on these games so fast. I mean, you know yourself, Mac, how hard it is. All right. What comes down here? Tote for 21, and then, ooh, Doug gets the bingo. Charnel's for a big score. Oh, no, Tichier played. Hey, Chaco PB, congrats on your win. It was incredible. I cannot believe what we witnessed. That was a bizarre finish. Oh, no, Tichier didn't play at all. Okay, never mind. He needs the N for Tichier. All right, so a close game becomes not so close after the bingo. Doug is now way ahead, and Ricky's also pretty low on time. Ricky could still come back with a bingo. He kept IIMT blank. He might be able to draw something. It's not the easiest board to use it, though. And he plays ID to fish for a bingo out, it looks like. And I don't think he drew it. I don't think he drew anything useful there. That IIMY combo is just not bingoable. Unless you have like Epimisia, which you don't. So Doug's going to hold on and win despite the blank on Ricky's rack. He just couldn't get the bingo at the end. Has Ricky bingoed at all this match? I don't think he has. Just a rough go of it for Ricky, and he is now 1-2. After starting off in the lead in this match, he's now behind. And we'll see if he can come back in game 4. Whoops, sorry, just changed the wrong score. It is now Ricky with 1 win and Doug with 2. If I could find the button to change that score. There we go. All right. Doug leads 2-1, and game 4 coming up between Ricky and Doug here. All right, game 4 starting right now. And it is Ricky first, and he's got a weird rack with some one-pointers you want to play through. Maybe just play Rind or something like that. And yeah, he does play Rind. Okay. So, good rack for Doug. He's going to bingo, I would assume. Something like Peddlers. paddlers, that works. Okay, 69 for that. And is there a double-double through that E? Probably not, but it looked interesting for a second. Almost webinar, but it's webinar. All right. Oh, I think I took it on the scoreboard. My bad. Let me put that back up. I don't know why it toggles on and off like that. All right, we're back. Oh, Wireman. Good find by Mac. Wireman was the double-double. Good find by Mac, not so much by Ricky. He plays Brew instead. And, okay, Scootages is the bingo from Doug, taking a pretty big lead here, 148 to 37. All right, so tough situation now for Ricky. 148 to 37, big hole to dig his way out of early. I guess you don't dig out of a hole, you climb out of a hole. Let's see if Ricky can climb. Clock ticking on this turn right here. It just seems like a not very good rack to deal with. What can one do with IILMNRU? Limby looks as good as anything. 20 points and leave of run. Ooh, Madhouse. Bingo right away from Doug. Nice play and a big lead. So Doug down up 2 to 1 in the match, looking to make it 3 to 1, and he's in very good shape. So rough situation now for Ricky Purnomo. Let's see what he can do. Down by 160, and we just started this game too. It's a early junction, be down by 160. He's only gotten down a couple of plays, and he's already getting just housed. Maybe Burgoo here through the G. All right, so Boa. And, oh man, another good draw for Doug. I don't think this is a bingo. I'm looking at all the available tiles, and yeah, I don't see anything. I don't think there's a double-double through the E either, but it looks pretty tempting to go look for one. What can you play here? What can you play? Maybe you just make a short play. Maybe you just play HE somewhere. Is there a way to score through that G and Scootage? I guess like Knight, but that's kind of an awkward leave and not a great score. What do we see here? Oh, 8. EIGHT, that's a pretty good play. So Doug is taking his time here. Hook the C on Limbic, that's cool. Yeah, all right, so Knight is the choice from Doug, 30 points, keeping CEE as a leave. See what you can do with that. And for Ricky, you're down by several bingos, and you are just not drawing bingos. Really, the whole match, you're just not drawing bingos. I think Ricky's been out bingoed like 9 to 1 or something in these games. He just hasn't been drawing the right tiles to bingo with. All right, so Rule for 8 points. And Gel for 22. Looks like non-party just barely doesn't fit through either of the T's. You could try non-party and O-rind, see if he lets it go. Oh yeah, you can hook the O on Gel to make Jello. You could play like Pony and Jello. Two things that children love, right? Ponies and Jello. All right, let's see what Ricky decides here. He is down by a whole heck of a lot, 189. He's got to create some volatility somehow. All right, Ponty for 24, and Doug. As long as he doesn't flag here and just makes reasonable plays, he should be fine. 36 points for Case. Can't knock it. 305 to 94. Just a brutal score for Ricky right now. By children, I mean Chris Light. Does Chris like Jello? I should ask him. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Chris Light consume Jello. Challenge Madhouse is the plural is Mad Heist. There's an idea. All right, finally Ricky plays a bingo. For a second I was wondering, like, does he still know you can score 50 points by using all your tiles? Because he seems to like not be doing that, but he finally does so. All right, Ricky's down by only 124. and Doug's got not a great scoring rack, but Vireo does score okay, 29. And Taxites comes right out of the bag, but I believe no spot for Taxites exists on this board. Easy scores with the X are out there, though. You can play Tax above Limby for 40-ish. Tax next to Nuttier for 40-ish as well, and Exalt for 36 is what he chooses. Okay. Doug draws the blank, so he's going to be in totally fine shape here. All right, so just playing this one out. Looks like Doug is pretty safely going to win. So Doug Brockmeier about to be up 3-1 in the match, and he's also undefeated in the tournament so far. Pretty good start to the tournament for Doug. Just a quick look at the standings for this group. We've got Doug trying to remain undefeated. We got Will Anderson and Ben Schoenbrunn, both 3-0 in this group. I believe they're both in the chat as well. So Will and Benji, here's your closest rival. Doug trying to go 3-0 as well and keep pace with you two guys in the Games 1 department where he's a little bit behind. He needs 8-1 today to tie Benji for second place. Tall order. And then Lukeman and Becky also 2-1, and Ricky 1-1 right now. So very competitive group E. And we are just finishing out game 3 here, or sorry, game 4, as Doug gets the win. 519 to 330 is your final. Let's go ahead and update that score. It is now 3-1 in Doug's favor, with game 5 still to come between these two players. So, whole lot of Scrabble still coming up, including Ricky's countryman from Singapore, Weibin To, who will be playing coming up next on twitch.tv/Nibu. That is Weibin spelled backwards. Weibin's going to be streaming his match against Sean Abassi. A big match for the players in Group A, as I believe Weibin and David Eldar and a bunch of other players are in a very close race for Group Aardvark supremacy. So Weibin coming up next. But for now, we got 5 more games between Ricky and Doug, with Doug currently leading 3-1 as we await game 5. I believe these players are taking a short break, but we will be back with game 5 when they are. Hope you guys are all doing well, enjoying your Saturday evening / Sunday morning. Weibin says it's a close race against Anand. I haven't checked the standings. What are the standings looking like? I sadly don't have a Group A standings graphic ready for you guys, so I can't pop that up on the screen right now. I can, on my laptop, just pop open the results tab on my spreadsheet and take a look, but last I checked it was close, wasn't it? Let's see. Group standings. We got Eldar 3-0, Anand 3-0, Weibin 2-0, Kevin Fraley 2-1. So if Weibin wins, he's going to be 3-0 along with Deldar and Anand, and interesting 3-man race for 2 spots, with Kevin Fraley also in the mix, and Harry Wiggins is 1-1 as well in that group. So it'll be interesting. We are waiting still on Ricky and Doug to open up game 5, but in the meantime, chat, how you guys doing? How you guys doing on your Saturday evening / Sunday morning? I'm hoping for a really bitter, fierce rivalry between Benji and Will throughout this tournament. I'm hoping for like a lot of trash talk, a lot of like angry emote wars back and forth. The moment I drew those names out of the hat to begin the tournament, when I was doing the selection show with Will, I was like, this is going to be fun. We got Will and Benji together. It's going to be a slugfest of a race between those 2 players. It's going to be fun. All right, anyway, we've got Will and Doug starting now, game 5, and it is Doug exchanging again to open. Doug has some interesting tastes in opening exchanges. He exchanges some racks where I wouldn't. He trades OOU, keeping DEIS. He could have played something through that, but whatever. Actually, I guess like OU is a pretty weak play. Oh, again he exchanges with a very playable rack. Okay. So he's down 40 to nothing, and he plays Randy's for 77. It does work out. He gets his bingo. Doug just has interesting tastes. You said it. All right. So Ricky's now behind by 37. 77 to 40, and Yerd for 33 comes down. Doug drops the X-Bomb for 38, and what to be done with the J here for Ricky? Looks like there's not any great spots for the J. Kind of a weird rack with it as well. How do you play these letters? How do you play these letters? Not much to be done here. All right, Goji, that looks not bad. Keeping what? AORU. It's really the best lead you can hope for, I guess. All right, Vicinage does not fit, but Vinca is a nice score. 31 points for Vinca, and still a weird rack for Ricky. But oh, Vaudu, nice play, getting rid of the weird stuff, keeping a nice clean lead of AR, and scoring pretty well, 30 points. All right, no spot for a bingo like Anbury's or Unbiased or anything. Looks like Doug's going to have to either play short to fish or play long and just blow it up. What to do here, what to do. I'm not seeing any great scoring options here. What is there? Yeah, it's tough. You could just play like Ab here. I don't know. Play Ab next to Goji. All right, so Nubia is the choice. 14 points is not very pointy, but keeps ES, and he draws pretty weirdly, the Q, the K, the W. Ricky continues to score pretty well, 33 points, and he's at 160 total. Another game where Ricky has 0 bingos, but just stays competitive with his point scoring. Just, you know, enough 30-point plays to stay in it. So Doug now plays off the Q for 13. And Neural for 10 comes down, just getting rid of some weird consonants for Ricky, keeping a good lead of NRS. We'll see if he can draw some vowels to go with it. There's not that many vowels in the pool. A 27 to 14 consonant to vowel ratio is not too friendly if you're Ricky here. You'd love to just draw like AEIT or something, but it's going to be hard. All right, so Doug is looking at an interesting scoring rack of, yeah, Cow he plays. All right, 32 for Cow, and yep, as I was fearing for Ricky, there are the consonants. All right, Nth is a nice play, 26, using up some consonants. Your leave is now LRSS. And Fez comes down right away. Only one vowel now for Ricky. Down by 55. What to do with these consonants and an I? Not a lot of great options. Nubia does take an S, so you can play something like, oh, just kidding, he plays ism. All right. All right, so Heptos is the play here, making Nubias, I believe. Is there another spot for Heptos? I think it's going to have to be Heptos and Nubias. Oh, sad. He plays Pets for 39, though. Pretty good score. All right, so after the pretty good score of Pets, it's a pretty good lead for Doug, up by 71. Battling a pretty weird rack now is Ricky. Still trying to find some vowels besides those 2 I's. And who likes having 2 I's? Not me. Except for the 2 on my face. Those 2 are useful. All right. Doug is ahead by 71, and Ricky needs to make something happen. You'd love to like play off if and like score a little bit. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, Fizz for 15. And oh, there's the bingo. Hottest for 75. That should just about do it. Ricky now down by 2 bingos with only 12 in the bag. And what to be done about this? Not too much. Ricky down by 131. So it looks like Doug's going to be winning this game and going up 4-1, it looks like. All right, Aerogel is just going to rub some salt in Ricky's wounds as Doug continues to just out-bingo Ricky every single game. Hey, it's a bingo! Garudas comes down for 80 points for Ricky. It is too little too late, and Doug's going to hold on to win the game, though. Final score is Doug 470, Ricky 357, and the score in the match is now Doug 4 games to 1 over Ricky. So back up against the wall now. Ricky Purnomo needs to win all 4 games to win out and take the match. Can he do it? We'll find out soon. Another quick look at the schedule once more. Coming up after this, we're going to have Wei Bin against Sean on twitch.tv/nibnew. Give Wei Bin a follow on Twitch if you can. And we'll be rating him in a little bit. But 4 more games right now between Ricky and Doug, starting with this one. Game 6 underway, and Buai comes down as the opening play for Ricky. 20 points and an early lead. What to do here if you are Doug? Don't exchange, Doug. Play a word. Come on. I see Cup, KOP, above Buai for a pretty good score. Tiles are rigged in favor of Wiggles developers / team. Yeah, that's one theory. I have noticed that like when I play Conrad, he like triples for 200 every time, so you could be right. Although I think Cesar will be doing better if that were the case. All right, Bijou for 28 from Ricky gives him a small lead here. Interesting rack for Doug. Looks close to bingo, but it's not quite one, I don't think. He can play something next to Bijou, I imagine. Like just AH is reasonable. He does play AH, 29. And also a bingo adjacent rack, but not quite bingoing rack for Ricky here. Maybe you play a 6 tile play from underneath the H in cough. Is there a good 6? I'm actually not seeing much. All right, so Moa is the play. 35 points. Can't argue with that. Who doesn't love 35 points? Cesar is just being nice. That's one way of looking at it. All right, Doug exchanges, keeping ENT, good 3 tile leave, and let's see here, almost hinnying, but no, it's 1 tile off from that. I don't think there's going to be any super great options here. All right, Yin scores 13, keeping EGIN, interesting leave. Let's see, a Q that you probably want to dump here if you're Doug. There's an obvious QI spot for 21. I would probably just play that without thinking about it. Oh, he exchanges. Okay. So the exchange keeps ENT again, his favorite leave. And Reaving doesn't go anywhere? Question mark? No, I don't think it does. There's no like hivering or anything. I don't think there's a bingo that actually is valid and playable here. What to do? Difficult situation here for Ricky. Feels like he's close to a bingo, but he's just not quite. So, yeah, exchange IV. Exchanging here is an option. I would probably try to play through it though. Like I don't feel like this board is juicy enough that like fishing for a bingo is like really that valuable. I might just play like Vireo into the O. Score 16, keep ING. All right, he fishes even smaller than that. Just plays the I for 8 points. He draws the N for nerving and it plays. Wow, nerving underneath YE for yen and nerving is a big, big score. So a fortunate turn of events there as Doug gives him the open spot for nerving. He does play it, 89 points and a big, big lead. All right, so Ricky's in good shape here in game 6. No, Doug bingos though. Okay, here we go. 78 for Saunter, and you probably want to kill that triple. You do. All right, 30 for Daft. Nice. And Webster, Bestrew. Do you guys play? I don't think you do. What can Doug do that actually plays on this board? Probably nothing. He just plays Web for 28. That's fine. He almost had Interweb. All right, so the Q comes down for 21 from Ricky. And now Doug plays the bingo. 84 points for Party. We got a close game. Doug down by, or sorry, Ricky down by 36, but it's his turn and he's got the X. Is it a good board for the X? Not really. Where does the X go? Where does the X go? You've got Oxy on the left side of the board. I guess you have Oxy for a pretty good score next to Daft. Oh yeah, Redo and Oxo. That's a choice you could make. Okay. He plays Rue, setting up his S, but there's 3 S's in the game, and Asinos. Oh, coinage, that works too. All right, coinage for 67, and a kind of a bad draw here. Although he has Lax. He has Lax for 51. Okay. So Lax keeps ALSU. Still a fairly close game. Doug's up by 36 and he's on turn. It's a good advantage, but it's not over. Gladius doesn't play. Doesn't play. So it looks like Ricky's going to come tantalizingly close in this game, but not quite win it. He draws a bingo. Oh, it's got a 12 tiles in the bag. We'll see. All right, so Glued opens the board up a little bit, but I think Doug's just kind of shut it down. And like I think just Gleet here is fine, just killing the triple and holding on to your Z for more scoring next turn. Flag is an option, but that kind of opens up bingos in line 2 that are a little bit worrisome for you. I feel like after a play like Gleet, it's just kind of like game over. Like, what's your opponent going to do on that board? Doug's got time. He does play Gleet. Okay. Fish for Slugfest. Nice, Josh. I like it. All right, so Agrized doesn't play. I don't think anything plays. Yeah, that's rough. 4 in the bag. Can you fish for something? You'd love to like fish and open if it's possible to do so. It might not be. Jeez, this is rough. You'd love to fish and open and score something because you're down by 83. Even if you do bingo, it's going to be hard. Oh, so Guy leaves 1 in the bag. The 8 to unseen title pool. Okay, it's sidearm S in the pool. He does have sidearm, but where's it going to go? Sidearm, Setarim, Misread, Marty's. None of these words go anywhere. Dismal Lure makes LE. Don't play LE. We've already seen LE a couple times in this tournament. I should keep like a chart of like all the phony 2s. All right. Time runs out on Ricky, and Doug does get the win. So congrats to Doug on winning the match. He's up 5-1. He does clinch the victory in this match. We will play 3 more. And just a reminder, Doug needing these wins for spread, because if you look at the standings in Group E, it is going to be very, very competitive. Doug needs to win all of these games to go 8-1 and equal Benji's record of 21-6 overall for the tournament. So if he wins all of the remaining games, he'll be 8-1 and he will tie Benji for second place. Right now, they are all chasing Will Anderson, who is 25-2 in his 27 games. I believe including some forfeits, because there's unfortunately been some no-show issues in Group E. But in any event, Will is doing very, very well. And Doug trying to chase him down. So let's see how that goes for Doug. This is game 7 getting underway. And Doug exchanging again. I don't get it. Like he has like co-edit or something, but he just exchanges instead. I'm not criticizing. I'm sure he's got his reasons, but it just seems weird to me. I don't know. All right, so co-edit does not go down, but it's an exchange, and then Banco for 24 and Sig for Doug, who wishes yet an E, I'm sure, for Diegetic. Didn't we see Diegetic earlier in this match? Or I think it was the last match, actually, between Pete and Jacob. All right, overhead, a big bingo for Ricky. 101. And does Doug have anything here? D-E-I-I-M-N-T. I think he's like 1 tile off from some stuff. I don't think there's a bingo that actually plays, right? Oh, miniated. Miniated is a word. Endearment. Okay, I'm just terrible. This is why I lose. All right, Dearmint does come down because Doug is better than me. 72 points for that. And DHKNORS. Interesting rack for Ricky. Definitely got some scoring potential. What can you do on this board? Not so sure about it. Not seeing any great places for a word like honk or anything. A little bit tricky. So D horns, nice scoring play there, 34 points. And the Z and some other fun stuff on the rack for Doug. He plays YE for 28, perhaps setting up some sort of play in line 15 with Rez next turn. His lead was ELSTZ. He could draw like, Zests or something like that. But Ricky takes the spot. Reek for 45 kills that spot, and Billet is now the choice from Doug. 16 points played pretty quickly there. All right, the QO combination, just wonderful for Ricky. He plays Moo, though. Decent scoring play with the M, 27 points for that. And the Z for Doug. I see an obvious Zin for 32 option there. He does play it, okay. The Q, still on Ricky's rack. What to do with it? What to do with it? He plays QAT, keeping tiles, T-E-I-L-S. And Tagines is available here for Doug. Diriment does not take an S, though, so you can't put it there. Banco, I believe, does take an S. Yes, it does. So Tagines and Bancos, he does play it. Nice play, 76. Good job not playing Diriment, or Diriments, I should say. All right, so Bluets. Don't play Diriments, though. Oh, he does. Does it stay on? It's not challenged right away. Doug must be considering challenging. Maybe he's not. It's a crucial play here. It takes a big lead. If it stays on, it's a 93-point lead. 93-point lead is... Wow, he leaves it and he plays Axed. So, leaves the phony, but gets 65 points for his X. That's interesting. Doug would never miss Tagines. I think I'm going to make some Tagines next week. I've been kind of craving some Tagines. All right, so oddities is one possible bingo through the T here for Ricky. Anything else here? Probably not, right? Probably just oddities. Ooh, sad. He plays Aid for 33 instead. Not a great draw for Doug. He played Axed, keeping OOT, and he drew OOEA. Very bad draw. He's down by a bingo now. He exchanges all 4 O's, and there's the blank for Ricky. Nerule. A word that I believe I challenged a few days ago in my match against Cedric. I was like, Nerule, what the hell is that? But it's a word. Ricky with a big lead now. So down in the match 5-1, but making a respectable effort here to keep the score close overall in the match. Doug's going to win the match, but Ricky's going to at least keep it looking respectable. So Yet comes down for 39 from Doug. Still down by over a bingo, and just make reasonable plays and don't flag is the objective here for Ricky. 31 for ISO, he's scoring just fine. No spot for Panforte, into an E for Doug, sadly. All right, Prof opens a triple-triple. Play any valid word in that lane, Ricky. Play Goop or whatever. Yep, he does play Goop. Nice play. So, looks like Ricky Purnomo will get the win here in Game 7 and make it a 5-2 margin in Doug's favor with 2 games still to play after this. I believe that we're going to have 3 games more in this match, and then we're going to have Weibin and Sean, who I believe have already begun. So we're going to have Weibin and Sean Abasi coming up after this. Don't go anywhere. Let me just briefly check the lobby, make sure those guys are playing. It looks like they... Oh, yeah, but we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so playing out the final tiles here, and Doug plays GNU Vanta. That comes off, shockingly. And after GNU Vanta comes off the board, Ricky will presumably play something valid. That is only the second best phony Doug's played today, with, of course, Woogie being the best one. All right, so If comes down, and maybe now you try GNU Vanta and Atagines. I don't know, just throwing it out there. All right, Jaunt is the valid word played by Doug. So, just playing out the final tiles here before we wrap up Game 7 here. And the final score is Ricky 515, Doug 395, and Ricky gets his second win of the match. Let's update that score for you guys. It is now 5-2 with 2 more games left to play. And then we go tune in to Weibin versus Sean Abassi coming up next. So let's enjoy these last two. As Doug and Ricky get underway right now. Okay. Impair blanked. Open for Ricky, and he plays impairs right away. 76 for that. And the cue comes down for Doug. 50 points coming right back. 4 E's is interesting. Sometimes 4 E's is okay if you can find a good way to use 2 or 3 of them, but on this board, I don't know. Oh, C's, nice play. 43 points, plus 5 for the challenge, and you keep EE as your leave. Not bad at all. I see like FOB as an option here, FOB, keeping CDIS. Let's see, what else here? Colin, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed what you could watch before going to bed. I think it's like 2 in the morning now for you. Get some sleep, man. Get some sleep. All right, so let's see here. Fido and Seized comes down from Doug. And Ricky kind of playing through some ugly one-pointers, but Toya at least scores 18. That's better than nothing. Both C's. Does Eki take an S? ECCE? I believe it doesn't. Yeah. Can't play Ekis here, as much as it would be tempting. It's a big score. Let's see. What can you play that's actually valid? It could Bice. Bice is a choice there. 20 points. Opens a big, big, big spot, though. It's always scary putting that E next to the double letter in the triple lane. You could get hit for, 230 if you're not careful. No triples on the rack for Ricky, but definitely an okay rack. You can play like Beep or something like that. Yeah, Bice at 7A might have been a better option. That's true. All right, Beep is indeed the choice from Ricky, and now it's back to Doug. Down by 73. He's got touches, and he does play touches for 74. And an interesting rack for Ricky. Does it bingo? I'm not sure. Over mix might not go anywhere. But XI is a very nice play. 36, keeping your leave of over blank. And where do you play it on this board? Like, you have words like outrave, but I don't know about playing them on this board. This is tough. Uvaravite, does that play? Oh my god, Mac, you're an animal. How do you do that? Uvaravite would have played. That's incredible. All right. No shame in missing that because Ricky is, human. Ricky plays Val for 22. Oh, Vaquero also played. Okay, that's a more normal word to find. Vaquero could have been found. Uvaravite, that would have been sick nasty. All right, so 4 kills the spot for a word like Vaquero, and we got a close game. Doug is up by 25. Ricky's on turn with the blank. I'm still just in awe. Mac finds Uvaravite through the IT in impairs and Toya, for those of you who didn't see the spot. That is a crazy, crazy find. All right, so a minute left on Ricky's clock. He's got, I believe, not a bingo here, but he plays gay for a decent score, 23. Very close game now. Doug up by 2. Let's see here. What do you got? There's the I hook on Ita. You could play like Tav and Vita, but that kind of opens a giant spot you don't really want to open. How do you score and balance and not open the board? Not easy to do all of those things at once. Let's see. Want is 24 points, keeping IRSV. Also kills bingos in line O a little bit, but doesn't kill Megatons. Look at that. Megatons fits still, and it's 88 points and the lead for Ricky Purnomo. So I was just looking at the Wiggles chat, and Tony Sim, Ricky's Singaporean countryman, is in the chat saying Vaquero was missed. Little does he know what else was missed that turn. Little does he know. All right, so difficult rack for Doug. ILORRSV, what to do? He plays Rove, setting up bingos up top, hoping to get a big, big play and retake this lead, but it's going to be tough. Difficult rack, though, for Ricky. 2 U's, 2 N's, the K, none of it is good. What to do, what to do? You'd love to obscure the spot up top a little bit if you can. It's not easy to do. So Junker and then Rod from Doug. Doug is opening up spots, trying to get a bingo down to come back. He's got two very nice places to bingo now, but oh, he does get sillier down. Okay, close game. 408, 408. We're tied with 6 tiles on Doug's rack. It's Ricky to play first. He's got 5 seconds on the clock. He's going to go over probably. He plays twin, and Ricky does go over. He plays glint, and wow. He goes over by 1 second, loses by 1 point. That is brutal. Just a brutal time scramble that just barely goes Doug's way. So Doug gets the win, and he's now 6-2 with 1 final game still to play in the match. So Doug wins a squeaker as he pushes Ricky over on the clock. And, you know, pushing your opponent over on the clock is part of the game, and Doug is very, very good at these speed games. He's very good at knowing when to get aggressive clockwise and kind of push your opponent on the clock. And this is what won the game for Doug, really, because on the scoreboard, Ricky should have won, but Doug, because of the time pressure, was able to push him over and win. All right, Doug gets the win in game 8, and now we start game 9. Let's go back to the, whoops, sorry, wrong screen. Back to the board. Doug has a bingo-looking rack to open. He's got, I think Scaffy might be good. Yeah, Scaffy with a blank F would be cool. But there's all sorts of options that are viable. Fancies, that's a word too. Fancies for 80 puts Doug in the lead early, and Ricky's got the Z for a big score, just like DZO looks pretty good. So yeah, DZO does come down, 49 points there, and looks like no bingo that actually plays here for Doug, but HO scores 27, and it's a lot of consonants drawn by Ricky. To ELRS, he draws JNR, not great. Is there any word through the A, like Jarls, but that kills your S? You don't want to do that if you don't have to. What else here? All right, Jarls does come down for 24. ENR is a pretty strong leave, so can't argue with it. Deletion is the play here for Doug, and he does play it. And Aeronite is drawn by Ricky. Aeronite, Retin-A, Trainee, etc., etc. He does play Trainee for 72, and not a bingo, but an interesting rack for Doug. He's got ways to score, I'm sure, with the Y and the M and whatnot. He can do, like, I mean, Doomy from the D and Deletion is one option. Let's see, what else? Mori, M-O-O-R-Y, through the R in Trainee looks pretty strong. Was there a big mistake not playing Retin-A? I didn't see like a great spot for Retin-A, but maybe I'm missing it. All right, Mori comes down for 26, keeping IG. Interesting leave. Could work out for him if he draws the right tiles. Not a great draw for Ricky after his bingo. The W and too many vowels, including a U. I am not a big Champions Corner fan. What's Champions Corner? All right, O for 24. Let's see, you could just blow it up with Pagurid through the R. That's one choice that Doug might go with. What is this Champions Corner? I'm going to Google it. Champions Corner. I have no clue what you guys are talking about. Whatever. I don't. Yeah. See, okay, Mac doesn't know it either. Good. All right, Pagurid is the choice from Doug. I like it. Just blow up the rack and score a little bit. 24. And Bapu comes right back from Ricky. Pretty close game. Doug up by a little bit. Doug plays Adieu to burn through some vowels. He had all 7 vowels there. Yikes. All right, so Troika, pretty good scoring play from Ricky, and Doug might want to fish away a couple of vowels here. He's close to a bingo. He does have the Bapu's hook to work with, so that's encouraging for him. If you can draw something to like AENRS. But how do you play off AU? Maybe you can't play it off for a very good score. I'm not sure. Okay, area for 19 keeps what? UNRS? Oh, and he draws Nutters. Nice, okay. So Doug plays Nutters for the lead. And not a great rack for Ricky now. 15 tiles in the bag. He's going to need to bingo to come back. It's going to be hard to do. All right, what can you do? Wait, Ben, if you're watching this, you should start streaming because I'm going to raid you soon if you're streaming. We are nearing the end of this match, and we're going to have Webinto versus Shanabasi coming up next. So, look forward to that, you guys. I hope you are. Okay, it looks like Webin already is streaming. That's good. So we will be sure to tune into that one as soon as this one is over. We are in the final few turns of this match between Doug Brockmeier and Ricky Purnomo. Doug is ahead 6-2 in the match, looking to make it 7-2. Congrats to Benji. You have clinched second place in the group so far. You are going to be at least one game of spread ahead of Doug, if not two. But Doug very much in contention here. He's going to be 3-0 in matches, and he's going to have a very good game record as well. So a very strong start to the event for Doug, for sure. All right, so with Dex for 60, Ricky's going to make this close. He's only down by 18 points now with one in the bag. And, oh, I don't think he drew anything he wanted to draw here. Too many consonants, and there's really not many spots to bingo anyway. So, looks like Doug is going to hold on. Interesting game. Ricky got his chances, but Doug managed to get a timely draw of Nutters. He got the E he needed to get a bingo down, and after that he was able to kind of stay ahead. Good job, Woogie, indeed. Ricky's a very strong player, and a 7-2 win over Ricky is very impressive for anybody. Looks like Doug is going to win 7-2, but Ricky is just looking for something, anything, to give himself a chance. Don't think there's anything to be found, and only 15 seconds now remain for Ricky. All right, he does play Sell for 35. Good score, but it's not going to be enough. And your final score is going to be determined in just a moment. All right, the P plays for 16, and that is your final play of the match. 438 to 388. Doug wins game 9, and overall in the match, your final score is Doug Brockmeier 7 games and Ricky Purnomo 2. So a very impressive win for Doug. He, basically just dropped the first game and then won 5 in a row to go from 0-1 to 5-1, and just from there it was just all Doug. 7 games to 2 is your final. Congrats to Doug on the victory. Just a quick look at the standings in Group E. We got Willie Anderson 3-0, 25-2 in games. We got Ben Schoenbrunn 3-0, 21-6 in games, and now Doug with the win here is going to be 3-0 and 20-7 in games. So all 3 players, Will, Doug, and Benji, all 3-0, all with very good game records, 1 lost. And then Lukeman, also a very strong player at 2-1. Becky, very good, 2-1. Just a very competitive EMU group, and we're going to have a lot of compelling EMU battles coming up in the weeks to come, including the 2 versus 3 Benji versus Doug next week. That's going to be really fun to watch. Looking forward to that, no doubt. So that's where we're at. A really exciting pair of matches with Ricky coming up short here against Doug 7-2, and earlier in the afternoon we had Pete Armstrong with a dramatic 5-4 victory over Jakob Teitelbaum in the Group D showdown there. So lots of fun Scrabble we had here today. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. We are going to go live to another match. We're going to have Weibin To against Sean Abbasi. I'm going to try and see if I can spell Weibin's username correctly. It is his name backwards, so it's going to be N-I-B. No, yes, N-I-B. I got this. I-E-W. There we go. All right, so we're going to raid Mr. Weibin To in a few seconds. I want to say thanks to all of you guys for tuning in and enjoying these last 2 matches, and we're going to go live to Weibin in just a few moments. So thanks to all of you guys for watching. Have a good weekend, and enjoy Weibin right now.